On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, hopefully Lucky's okay. There was a thing that happened off mic, and I immediately wanted the show after. We'll be talking about brain hacking. Anyway, on today's show, oh my gosh, guys, there's so much news. We got a dev diary. We do those now, apparently, and 30 updates and all kinds of stuff. Also, that Alien movie's coming out. That's cool. Miyu got a buff. Anyway, hi, I'm one of your hosts. I am Omega, and I am currently cosplaying as Floating Vampire Jesus. With me, as always, is Meme Music Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Maho Shoujo Ono. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should just go back to the Big Apple.
Yeah, we were having some fun in the pre-show, so we're a little loosened up. That's good. Mm-hmm. We were discussing earlier today how we do basically we make the show in the pre-show, pre-production, which is scripting, which is mostly just writing down facts or ad-lib prompts. And I didn't say it because this didn't come up, but I was thinking about the hardest part of what we do is when we do go quote-unquote off script, when we start doing improv. So it's good that we're a little loosened up, because that's what makes the improv flow. Now, before we go anywhere, I would like to do a non-improv segment and thank our patrons like Adam Harp, Hanko Comics, Zuma, Erica Jatang, Pastor G, Carlos Qua, Dragon Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss, Dr. Liam Kessler, Reach Raptor, Rogue, Robin Charver, Shiny P, some guy named Bob 23. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. If you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies. It really helps us out. Thank you for support, as always, everybody.
Thank you. This is alcohol, by the way. It's Friday. I'm done. I'm done with life.
Ugh. Oh, God damn it. Lucky, you mind-hacked me. Now I'm remembering that awful Friday song. Which I have only ever listened to in the context of meme compilations, by the way. I was just like, oh, there's a weird, crappy YouTube song that's really, memey. Nah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Listen,
by the way, if she comes after us for that, I'll fight her. Challenge her to a duel. You ain't got shit on me. Well, you're not Sony Music. You're not Disney.
Oh man, our Patreon chat is now going wild. You animals.
Yeah. Listen, we already talked about this. No, actually, the song that never ends never came up. It goes on and on, my friends.
All right.
I knew one of us was going to say the next live, and I'm like, nope. Let's stop. Guys, this is why you should support us at the 10 and up level. Well, technically, any patron level, you can access the patron chat on our Discord. But if you're a gold patron or higher, you get to listen to the show live with us, so you can actually understand what the fuck is happening right now. Does anybody understand what the fuck is happening? Who knows? Let's get out of here. Let's move on.
Carry forth.
Where the heckin' was I?
Carry on, my wayward son.
We did an intro.
That was not it. We're on the pro tips, my dude.
Yes. Okay. Let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai quick before we fall down another hole.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai. Regular segment for pro tips. Lucky wrote this really chunky pro tip, so I'm gonna make him read it.
Yeah, well, I wrote it, so I will. No, Omega, I'm just gonna type things for you to read out loud and just cackle in the background. But, everyone, it is lottery season again, and with all the strats and hardcore players, they are gonna be emerging from the darkness like Kyo from underneath your bed. With that in mind, this is your timely reminder that, in fact, you only have to go as hard as you want. If you go hard at all. Don't let other players pressure you, nor feel obligated to try and keep up with them, and play at a pace that is comfortable to you. No shame and no stress. We have enough of that in the real world to worry about, and we really don't need it in our 2D one, excuse me. As a side note, though, it is never a bad idea to try and set a goal for yourself for how much you want to accomplish in this event. That way, you can have something to push yourself towards, or if you pass it, you can have a sense of accomplishment and adjust your pace accordingly. So, again, don't listen to all the people who are going mad, opening several hundred boxes, getting all this stuff. Just do what you can as best you can and be happy with that.
I should probably... I don't know if I want to set a box budget, but I know I want those because it's all skill cookies and EXPs. Spoilers for the pregame? Later.
I think I usually set my goal for around 50.
Yeah, I usually like to hit 50 myself. Occasionally I have done very well and I've been bold enough to be like, can we go to 100? Usually I don't have the energy for that, but I ask myself, could I? We'll see though. We have some commentary about that. I do have, like I said, a pseudo pregame. It's much shorter than usual, which should cover the high points. So we'll talk about this all later after the break. But this lotto is particularly good because, like I said, it is almost nothing but skill cookies and EXPs, and also mana prisms. Gosh, do I need so many mana prisms as well. I don't think I've even been able to buy Soldier's costume yet. That's how fucking broke I am after Detective Foams. Anyway.
Yeah, I was able to pick it up because I didn't actually pick up Detective Foams, but if I can get good enough on this event, I might see about it.
But alright, let's move swiftly on to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. I have a simple one this week, because there have been some time to get some good old APs up and some nothing better to do with my life. I managed to farm enough EXPs to protect Summer Camilla's smile. Yay.
Huzzah. For me, it's something similar. Since we've had a break week, I've been putting in a little bit of effort every day, and I was able to actually protect, Summer Melt and Summer Okita Smile.
Hey.
Good job, us.
There's no evil this week. Robin will make up something funny to go here. And let's move swiftly on to, did you finish your master missions? I haven't actually. I should probably go punch Fuyuki skeletons. Because the first one you need to do is defeat 15 undead enemies. You know what that means. Fuyuki X1, punch skeletons. You also need to defeat 3 neutral servants, defeat 15 archer assassin enemies, not servants or bosses, and then do the same for Saber Berserker and Lancer Rider Caster. And then also put a Saber in your party and complete 5 quests. God damn it, Vesper. Now Robin's gonna write that in there. I'm gonna be filled with rat jokes. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. I think ghouls are undead. I can cross-reference that. But I probably shouldn't. You can cross-reference that as well. You're on the internet. Actually, I don't know. You might even be able to yell at, like... Does Liz do enemy traits? I don't even know. We have a Liz bot that I don't really check out. Anyway, we're just stalling, we're just fapping, which we really don't need to do, because we're about to move into Skelegrams, and holy shit, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm typing something in here, and for some odd reason, I got a search bar. It's like, would you like to look up battle simulators on Amazon? I'm like, Amazon has battle simulators? What?
What the fuck? Amazon? Are you okay? Is it finally time for the cyberpunk hellhole? Alrighty. Okay. It's time for some news. Technically, I probably should have done a news deck for some of this because it was in the middle of the week, but, like, I didn't have to. FGO did a news desk. Like, yeah, they did. Nissan showed up for a 5-minute video. He did what I do. Go watch him. He's way cooler than me. I'll say it. Speaking of which, that's our first item. We actually got our first ever FGO dev diary. Nissan came out to tell us what to expect in the end of August and into early September, including, we'll talk about most of that stuff later in here. But one of those things was also they announced a back-to-school campaign, which will include the Killmath banners later in September. So, yes, you will get your Kentucky Raiko Murasaki banner. That will come back in September. They are calling it the back-to-school campaign, which is cool. It's good that they're figuring out how to reflavor stuff and not necessarily delay stuff for us. So we'll see what happens.
I actually did very much like this because, like, it is kind of surprising, but back-to-school season is kind of a very big deal for us over here in America. It's like, there's always sales going on. There's always, like, a bunch of events, you know, to help people get set up for it. Mm-hmm. It's not nothing I would necessarily call a holiday, but the back-to-school energy is very big in early September.
Yeah, it's a seasonal thing that happens here where it's like, oh shit, you know, you're gonna have, if you're a student, you have, like, way less free time, so you, like, cram in the last couple of things, or you need to spend some cash to get ready. You know, It's a good little marker. The other thing that was brought up in here, that I just realized I once again forgot to add to my notes, was also, holy shit, guys, we're gonna get a Camelot the Stage Play banner.
Yes, you did forget to mention that, yes.
Yeah, this will also coincide with, oh my god, they're going to stream Camelot the Stage with subs for us.
I'm excited with this. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, it took us, like, well, I mean, we are 2 years behind, but yeah, no, like, they finally figured out how to do it. They're just going to stream the fucking stage play and then give us the stuff. I'm sure there was a lot of debate how to handle this, and ultimately they realized that because there's so much stage play stuff, they were like, well, shit, we got to do something. Especially considering that I'm sure Delightworks has no control over the licensing and etc. around the movies, right? Like, that's got to be completely out of their control. So, yeah. we still have no idea when and how we're getting access to the Camelot movies, even though both films are now fully out in Japan. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that should be coming soon. That'll have some cool stuff. So September should be interesting. I'm not gonna. Well, I don't know. It is a stage play. I wonder. I'm debating whether or not we should like gather people up. But also, usually when we gather so many people in our voice chat to like watch streams, they're really annoying. There's so many of you. Oh my god, guys.
Yes, people can in fact not shut up.
Not even under threat of like the armed, the armed powers, the combined energy of almost always me, Lucky, and at least one of the mods in VC. Well, see, here's the thing. I can't speak and listen at the same time. I can talk over Lucky just now because of lag. Sorry about that. But my brain is not good at listening and speaking at the same time, so yes, I will actually usually shut the fuck up when I'm trying to listen to something, because my brain can't speak and hear at the same time. I'm also bad at listening to multiple channels. I think I've talked about this before. Like, sometimes I have to like take my headphones off to think. I'm like, hold on, guys, shush for a second. What's my brain doing? But yeah, the stream will be cool.
Yeah, but speaking of such things, people are finally getting their copies of Heavensfield 3 Spring Song. Actually, mine arrived today. I was able to take a picture with all 3 of the special breways lined up. It's like the Gravity Falls meme. It's exactly like that. And as I said, I'm going to start planning maybe to have a watch party of all 3. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going to actually necessarily put in the Blu-rays or buy a Blu-ray player. I think I'll just rent them digitally, and I'll just hook up something up and just stream from there and call it good. I can spend a couple bucks. So yeah, everyone, if you got yours and if you got your order, I'm prepared to see it any day now. Like, you got express delivery, because I wanted it in my hands immediately. Yes, there are a few errors, though, happening.
Yeah, it's the thing that happens when you're dealing with, basically, when you're buying from anybody who's not, like, Amazon, there's usually a little bit of lag, and there's a little bit of, like, double-checking all the payment stuff, because most companies, even popular companies, don't have giant fucking, like, mechanisms to make everything work. But yeah, it's good. People are getting their copies. I know that some people deliberately did not actually pay for expedited shipping, so they're like waiting longer. But it's good. Everybody, do what you want. Let's move swiftly down the list. So we've started the official pre-release for Battle in New York 2021. The pre-release started on the 25th. It will go until the 2nd of September. You log in for 9 days to get lots of apples. There are limited master missions for some 5-star EXPs. I put in my notes here because I wanted to admit it. I already bungled some of these. I didn't realize they were daily quest related. I've been busy lately, okay?
I missed one.
Yeah, I missed the first 2. It's only like one 5-star EXP each day, so it's not a huge deal. Mm-hmm. But they're also really easy to complete. It's just like do a daily quest each day. Complete one of the various, whatchamacallit quests. Yeah, back to school should have daily login courts and stuff. Let's see, what's next? During this time, we've got double the suck chance. On top of the fact that we had half AP interludes, we also have... Actually, we may still have half AP interludes. Is that ongoing still? Let me double check. It doesn't matter, I can't access... I'm full up on interludes until I level and bond with way more people. We do have half AP rank ups as well. I'm also full on those. I had to level a whole shitload of servants because I'm very caught up on everybody else. But half AP rank ups, half AP interludes, that's pretty good. That gives you something to do with all your free time, right?
Right.
Also, the pre-release is, of course, going with our class-based banner. The class-based banner is the usual rotation. Should be 2 banners a day, which is only that one class that's displayed on each banner. And this includes permanents and story locks. If you're fishing for somebody in particular, this banner rotation will go on until the 9th of September. The dev diary also did confirm that Gil's animation update will be coming with the main event, which I don't think we've got a hard and fast date on the website. I'm going to guess, though, after the 2nd. Like, probably the 3rd. Like, literally a week from now. I guess they could do it the 1st and, give you 2 extra days to log in also. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now, next is the big one. This wasn't necessarily tied to anything, because it's not even listed as, a campaign. I literally had to find this list in, game updates, right? In the game update section.
Yes. Which
was, it was titled something like, Concerning the 825 update. So, we got a big game update on the 25th. This is a massive quality of life patch. 30 things were added. I'm just going to give you the highlights. We're either compressing a few of these together into one bullet point, or I'm straight up skipping some of the smaller changes. But if you're curious about the extent of it, because it's a fucking lot, you should go look it up. It's on the website. So now in options, you can check an option to avoid Ascension and costume spoilers. If you don't want to see what a Servant's final Ascension is like before you've got him, you can tell FGO to cut that out. You can also check out a Servant's lines and things from when they are temp or their true name isn't revealed, etc., etc. So just more fun options. We'll get to that. This might be a handy one. You can now copy support setups, so you can take one support setup and copy it to another one in case you need to transfer something, rebalance some stuff. Most people have, that third support setup that doesn't do anything.
I do it for memes.
Yeah, no, it's a meme one. I mean, until they add, a third filter you can check, it really doesn't do anything. Because you can only set one to event and one to main, or one to both. But it's cool. So you can do random ascensions now. You can just tell a servant's profile to randomize what ascension they're in if you aren't too fussed about any of the particulars. You can also set what support ascensions are displayed. So you can manually set what support you want supports to show up as. There are graphical improvements to status effects and to the target lock effect, so it should make it way more clear, what your target locked on, and that you can't select certain units. Also, status effects like burn, curse, etc. have little animations in game, so you can tell at a glance. Also, they made it so the status effect bar double stacks now. Thank God. So it should display roughly twice as many status effects max, which is good because sometimes you forget status effects.
Yes,
it's very important. Speaking of other things that are important and fun, you can now check drops mid battle. You can literally tap it shows you how many drops you've got in total, and you can literally tap this to go straight there. I believe you could already check what drops you got, but this is just there's literally you can click the treasure button right now. And yes, we got double stack status lists. When you're on the class screen, you can also, the button to check class information has been added, thank God. Now you don't need to back out to the menu to check what enemies and what drops are this node. If you've already completed it, you can literally tap that screen from where you are. That's really great. When you hit the information for event bonus, it will now calculate your total event bonus at the top. So if you've ever wanted to do math rapidly, the game does it for you. The examples they had were letting you know how much everybody's bond up was, and then how much extra lucky dice or whatever you got in the last summer event. It's good function. When you open the menu, you will now see a shortcut to terminal. You don't need to keep hitting back. You can go straight to the main screen from anywhere. Also, on the terminal screen, you will see a new window which displays your sync quartz and sync quartz frags on the terminal screen right above your AP, command seals, etc. So when you log right in, you don't need to wait for it to cycle through. You can just see right there, oh, hey, I have 64 sync quartz right now. Yay. Yeah. So filter screens have been improved. You can now filter by NP type and if they are AoE, single target, or support. Love this feature. It's very cool. If you're literally, you're looking for arts, you can tell it, give me every server who's got an arts NP. It's pretty fun looking. I haven't had much chance to check it out because, we're just cruise controlling on dailies, but for things like the upcoming Lotto, that will be very handy. Additionally, filtering, sorting, event bonus, and icon sizing things have all been added to lots more places. Sorting by foes, for instance, is a very piece of the people in the chat are excited about right now. That's been added several places. You've got new filters in more places, new sorting. In Spirit Origin list, you can now check for event bonus directly. It's pretty cool. Yes, you can filter by non-damage and buster, so you could find those 3 servants all from year 1. Rip. Also, icon sizing has been added to more places. You can now actually size the icons and stuff like costume unlocks and etc. Just, more places, more adjustments, figure out everything. This is a big one for me, because I refresh my support list a lot for some reason. Countdown timer's been added to friend lists refreshing. So when you go to support, you click it, you know how much you gotta wait. They literally have a countdown timer. It'll let you know when 5 seconds are passed and you can do it again. Which is good, because sometimes you get impatient and you just want to jam that button. And also, we've gotten some various speed and timing things cleaned up. You guys have probably already seen what people call 3x speed, basically where card animations and servants moving in and out animations have been sped up so the gameplay flows even faster. You can now adjust NP speed mid-battle, and the timing and speed of various effects has been added. So certain command codes, special effects have been activated, so you can actually see when they proc sooner, etc. Just lots of good little quality of life stuff. A big heaping helping of small things. It seems like this is probably going to be how NA handles a lot of this stuff going forward. I don't know if we've mentioned this a lot explicitly, but JP usually gets monthly app updates, right?
Right.
They usually, once a month, they will get just a app version update that gives a couple of new features. In this case, it seems like Delightworks for us is aiming for just, bulk slapping those features into one patch and just giving them all at once. Which probably makes sense, because we are a little out of sync with, our app versions and stuff. But that's all of our big-ass game updates, and that's all of our currently out and happening NA news. Not counting, of course, the stuff that we have been previewed on. Thanks, Dev Diary. So, it is time to scooch on to JP! JP got news!
Yay!
We called it. It's exactly what you think it was. It's Prisma Ilya Look Movie release campaign.
Behold.
Starting on the 27th and going until the 3rd of September. I'm going to guess that summer will probably start the 3rd. Or the 4th. However that works out, time zone-wise. But yeah, it's celebration for the movie release. Log in for 5 days for some QP, some 4-star EXPs, some CE XPs, a gold apple, and a ticket. Double suck chance for all forms of Ilya, Miyu, and Chloe. There's a commemorative CE quest for that image that Lucky said would be a commemorative CE last week. Called it absolutely. It's right there. Also, previous movie CE quest and Ilya's Testament costume have been added to the RP shop if you missed them.
Nice.
And we also got Big Boy rank ups. 2, actually. Double the amount we expected. First of all, Ilya's invul skill, her second skill, now gives her a 30 to 50% battery. Damn.
I've heard some mumbling and grumblings about people it not being on her buster skill, but I was like, it's fine. It's still there. It exists.
I mean, yeah, it's on her hard defense, but that's also her NP gain and stuff. But we'll see. It's a 50% battery on an offensive unit. It's also important to note that she gives you a shitload of NP gain on that skill anyway. That skill was invul and NP gain, not just battery. Now it adds battery as well, so people are talking about now she can loop, though you need to make sure to give... Somebody needs to make sure to give her a debuff immune so she doesn't cripple herself with her NP demerits. Because she still has demerits. Speaking of people who had demerits, Miyu's NP is fixed. The demerit is removed and the healing amount is doubled. They basically did both things.
Yeah.
Also, it gives the party 10 to 20% attack per turn for 3 turns based on NP level.
It's really nice. It's really nice.
So clearly they, with characters like Oberon and Tomovich out there, they clearly realized, Miyu being a discount Merlin doesn't fucking matter. Let's just get rid of the demerit. I mean, the healing rate is 1k per turn. It's been doubled, minimum, and now it's 2k per turn at max. It's pretty solid. Like I said, they literally doubled the amount of healing, which is what we said they needed to do anyway to compensate for her demerit. And then they just took out the demerit too. They're like, fuck it, the demerit sucks. Whatever. You don't care. We would much rather you guys actually use Miyu than just use units that aren't Miyu because she's bad, I think, is what they were going for.
It helps Miyu really slot into a more healing support role. It really does.
Yes. Miyu now slots into grind teams, stall strategies, because she has that very spicy HP regen effect, and also, like I said, that 10 to 10% attack per turn for 3 turns each. So long as she stays on board, you're generating attack up, healing, stars, etc. It's pretty good. And the banner, of course, that coincides with this is Ilya, and Miyu. And in case you didn't get that joke, it's Summer Ilya. So, yeah. Pretty typical from what you'd expect from this banner. If you are looking for an Ilya or a Miyu, that's great. The only way it could be better if somehow they arranged for you to roll Chloe on this banner somehow.
Unfortunately, I do feel like this banner is maybe a little misplaced. Coming post anniversary and Avalon, and summer just around the corner. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking at their wallets and looking at this banner and going, "Do I? But do I?"
Yeah, I mean, it's an issue of the timing in real life, right? Which, again, right. Delightworks doesn't control. I don't think Delightworks can call up whatever studio makes Prisma Ilya and be like, guys, can you stall the movie for a month? Trust me, nobody has any fucking money to spend on this banner right now. They're like, not really, no? We have to, distribute this to theaters and shit? But yeah, no, you are right in that it comes in a very awkward and baity position. We have literally had all the first round of Lost Belt banners, right? Lost Belt 6
Right.
banners, nuts. That was a Castoria second rate up. There were several new SSRs in there that are all limited or story locked, etc. You had Anniversary with Vich, a very important support unit. That was immediately followed up with Oberon, a brand new class who's good. And then they rerun Morgan and the Fairy Knights banners anyway. And then Prisma comes out, which is important because this is Miyu's second rate up ever. Oh yeah, and then we're like reasonably certain that summer's going to be soon. It's going to slide right in there, so that'll be nuts.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure the summer's going to start next week. So everyone keep an eye out on the JP news. I'm pretty sure we might be getting a CM suddenly.
Yes.
Maybe this weekend.
Like, some people have pointed out that it's only a 5-day login campaign, which means that they could start it right away at the first. Because it's one of those, like, other than the login, it's a nothing burger. Like, it's just do one quest and then everything else is passive. Well, actually, no, there's 3 quests to do. There's 2 new rank ups, but that should take you, like, an evening if you're serious. So, yeah, I would not be shocked if we didn't see that CM, like, sometime in the next couple of days. When we see the CM, well, that'll probably be telling because it'll have the date on it, but just in general, yeah, it'll be pretty important. Also, I'm going to throw this out to chat. Does anybody know if there are any FGO streams scheduled? Because usually they like to talk about summer at panels or streams. If there is a stream scheduled, then we know for sure that's when it's fucking happening. But if not, we'll probably get our first reveal as what we're going to see in the trailer, the CM, which will be baller.
I was excited for CMs.
Yeah, CMs are always really good. They look really nice. There'll be so many little interesting details to pop through. But after about 30 minutes of that sweet, sweet news, the news is done.
Huzzah. And that means we are going to go into this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag. The segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we have, I'll be nice, I'll refresh. We have 25 entries today, and the back half is not particularly loaded. We just got Fanservant Friday and the pregame?
Yes, we have Baby Pregame and FSN, so.
Yeah, so let us do all the mailbag and pad out that timer.
Robin, didn't you try and post something and then YouTube yeeted you, or was that last week? It
was last week. That still blew my fucking mind.
I don't know what Robin was trying to post, but YouTube has gotten a lot better at, like, if you say something that they think may be, like, spammy or off-color, they will just eat your ass.
I don't know. It was weird. Because I remember Robin was making this, like, I'm being a gremlin face. When he said, I was like, shit, I better go read it just to make sure it's nothing actually weird, and I just couldn't find it.
No, didn't exist.
It was weird. It didn't exist. I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't like this. How can I get mad at something I can't see?
It's not that hard, Lucky. There's so many people mad at things they can't see.
I'm going to talk tomorrow about my spicy tweet.
There's a lot of stuff. I don't know what is it about this fucking week, but my Twitter, like, what's happening sidebar has just been all bad all week.
All week. Ugh. It drives me to drink. Now I'll take a drink. My friend bought me these well, he didn't buy me, but he just buys weird alcohol. It's like, hey, try these. But they're hard seltzer alcoholic lemonades. I'm just all like, they're 5% alcohol. I'm just like, these are okay. They're not great. Anyway, let us actually get started. We begin right meow. Our first one comes from an Artorias stan who says, first, well wishes and thank you for the great content. I believe that is supposed to be an X. You get a red marker. But they continue on with questions. What servants would you like to learn martial arts from? That is only a single question. You get another red mark. And
also,
the
you
answer
technically
to that
shouldn't put that space between the servants and the parenthetical S. That's supposed to be all one, so that you know that you can take out the parentheticals and pluralize that. That's pretty advanced shit, though. I think we might be able to give you a pass on that.
Yeah, you didn't get the red. You didn't get 3 and got an automatic out.
Safe.
But as to answer your question, I would go with Shisho, Skahawk. Just teach me all the weapons. I might die a little, but it'd be fine.
I'll do what I usually do, so that we can have some variance in this thing, and I will say Chiron.
That was going to be my second one. Chiron, who's just about in almost all of the Greek hero myths, just all of them. He's like, yeah, I taught that boy. That's Chiron.
Teach you medicine, mathematics, and punch fist.
I forget how it's pronounced. Pancration.
Pancration,
that's what it was.
Greek wrestling style. Now, if you want me to spell it off the top of my head, no, that's the joke, Vesper, Dino Wrestler Pankratops. But also, a lot of the letters are the same.
Mm-hmm. We have a submission from the chat who says Donzo, and we have another one who says Bryn. Bryn will be an interesting one.
She does have the old... What do they localize that as? Hero's assistant?
Mm-hmm. Another one says Lee.
Old Man Lee would also be a good choice. I mean, if you want to murder people with your hands.
I mean, what else am I going to do with them?
I don't actually know if Beowulf can teach you anything. Beowulf's punching NP is deliberately head empty, no thoughts, only punch.
He's basically just screaming, "Oh lordy, catch these hands!" But
things that are not punched do not exist in his dojo. God, that reminds me. All 3 Karate Kid movies have been on Netflix for so long. I need to go back and watch all of them.
Anyway, I think we'll call it good for that
6 hours to string together.
Mm-hmm. So thank you very much for that. This next one comes from A Harem Has Awoken. They say, "Hey guys, hopefully Lucky had a great birthday and I just happened to celebrated mine on the same week. Smiley face. Anyways, I must ask, which side of the moon would you want to be on, the far side or the near side?" I'm assuming this is an extra joke.
Yeah. I mean, there were 2 smiley faces in this.
Oh,
to take this question completely literally, the near side, obviously, that's the non-dark side, and also you can see the little blue marble from that side, and allegedly, if pictures are believed, it's pretty fucking sweet to just hang out there and look at the Earth. Because in case you guys didn't know, our moon is tidally locked.
Mm-hmm. That means the same side is always facing the Earth. And I have to say that on the same side as well, as cool as being on the dark side of the moon would be, it'd be very dark and very boring. And I do not believe there are any ancient mysteries upon the dark side of the moon.
No, I'm pretty sure we've been there just to check it out, because you can, drive around the moon. It's fucking dark because it faces away.
Mm-hmm. They could also be talking about Tsukihime, which I should admit has come out, and JP has been going wild.
Yes, there are some interesting characters who apparently appear in the new version, but I have no context for this because I don't read Moonspeak.
Unfortunately.
On the other hand, also, so many people have been yelling about getting their copies. I see a lot of people tweeting about getting it on the Switch as well, which is interesting. I guess the Switch does have a little bit of a background in VNs, though.
Yeah, no, we can actually get several VNs on Switch here. I don't know necessarily what the VN market is for Sony and Xbox, though, or Microsoft, I could say. Actually, better question, are there any visual novels on Xbox? Someone let me know. I'm pretty sure there's...
If you're going multi-platform, you would, just because you can, but the Xbox has always done really squishily in Japan.
But, with that, we shall move on, so thank you very much. This next one comes from I'm Addicted to Reading. Send help with more books or VNs. This is very correct. Lucky was looking at his Amazon purchases, and basically, out of 20 items that I have ordered recently, 16 of them were books, 2 of them were games, and 2 of them were office supplies. I'm just like,
Intriguing.
Yes, Suna does say something. One thing that gets me with the Switch versus with the PlayStation is the censorship. Sony does have a bit of a stick up its ass, and for some odd reason, Nintendo, the family-oriented one, is just like, whatever, do what you want.
It's probably because Nintendo, at least certain aspects of Nintendo of America, got a big schlacking in the DS era. They were really, really awful. A lot of people know about Fire Emblem and other stuff. They were really, really bad about that during the DS zone. And then apparently since Switch, they made a conscious decision to give less of a shit or pass it off to different teams because it's a different console. Who knows?
Oh, Rise is not censored on the Switch. I'm just gonna have to buy both those games again. I don't care. I'll live that life. I'm gonna see if I can carry around the game. Maybe I'll actually beat it this time. Heck.
I should get some JRPGs for my Switch. No, but if I'm going to buy another Switch game that's not Ring Fit Adventure, it should be Skyward Sword. I do need something to do. We'll talk a lot about video games because Gamecom was this past week on What's Up. Make sure to tune in. It will be coming later.
Soon.
Anyway, let's stop getting in the weeds. This person has a question, I believe.
Yes. They say, what was your first SSR servant in FGO? Do you think you'll be able to win? Do you think you'll be able to a Grail War with them? Which one? I just wish I had a GIF of someone just slowly uncapping a red marker. Because I'm about to just scribble all over this.
That's the second half of your question there is missing some grammatical subject-object agreement. You need a verb in there, I think.
Oh no, here's the next thing that comes to me. Wheel wishes for your spawn day, or Tyrant Bunny. Please accept our humble question as sacrifice. I'm sorry, your question tastes horrible. 10 out of 10 with not dying again.
Your question has been sacrificed to the scribbles. Not that I want to put any pressure on Lucky, because animation it requires a lot of extra work because you'd have to draw frames. That would be very funny, though, someday to like draw a Tyranny Bunny and just have him slowly uncap his red pen. But that would require a lot of work because you have to draw like however many frames of your animation cycle you want.
It depends. It depends on how detailed I want to be.
If you wanted it to be, well, I suppose if you wanted it to be slow, you could also just double up on frames. But something slower action usually has more frames is usually smoother. People, less frames is jarring. I know this because I have stitched GIFs together out of sprite animations before, and it can be a huge pain in the ass. So to answer this person's actual question, though, so my first SR, which hopefully, well, I don't know, maybe people don't remember, but you always get an SR out of your tutorial role, so you always have at least one. Mine was Liz, and I don't know if I'd be able to win. It would strongly depend on the war, but Liz at least never quits.
No. Unfortunately, I'm actually looking mine up right now.
Was it your tutorial role Cat?
I'm pretty sure it was, but I might have also got Carmilla around the same time. I'm just making sure which one actually was first.
Well, Lucky's looking that up. I'm reasonably certain my first SSR was actually Jean, because I got her off Gil's banner. Yeah, I got a non-raid up SSR my first time out. Gil's special celebration banner was like 2 or 3 weeks into FGO, and that was the first SSR I got was actually Jean. In which case, yes, I'd probably be able to win because a ruler is fucking cheating.
All right, so yes, I will confirm. Tamamo Cat was my first SR, but though, because of Cat's disposition and whatnot, I don't think we actually be able to win the Holy Grail War. She's a little crazy. She's just a little crazy. And my first SSR was actually Waver. Let's see here. Actually, let me see here.
That also sounds like cheating.
Let's see here. Yeah, so let's see. Got my mash on June 25th, 2017. That's the first day. Let's see here. Got my cat on June 26th, 2017. And then scrolling down, I got my waiver on August 18th, 2017. So it was almost a month it was over a month and a half between my first SR and my first SSR.
Sounds about right.
Oh, I was so young then. Actually,
rolling on tangents for fun.
Mm-hmm. To tangent slightly, I've recently had my mind blown by a nugget of knowledge. One of my crows, I've been hanging out with them a lot, and we were talking about ages and whatnot, and I actually figured out they actually told me their age. They told me that they were, because they're in school and whatnot, they told me that they were 17, and they've been in this community for 2 years. And I'm just like, this person has been hanging out with us since they're 15. They're gonna become 18 and be hanging out with us. Is like that particularly blew my mind. I'm just like, God, people have been here for years.
Yeah, that's always wild. I always remember like hearing the Rooster Teeth founders talk about that, because those guys were that. But, like, for me, right, like, I was a fucking baby child who should not probably have been listening to so many F-bombs when Red vs. Blue came out. But, like, some of their fans were, like, 14, 15 or whatever, and they grew up in the community, and now they work for that company. Like, it is wild to think about those things. Yeah, damn. People followed us since you were 15. Christ. Oh, we also probably say too many F-bombs. Don't say as many fucks as we do in public, okay? Just because you're gonna get a lot of bad looks, all right? Now that I have anything against you saying fuck, just use it appropriately.
Excuse me. Anyway, we shall move on. This next one comes from Miyu strengthening. Yas. Question: What? Oh, excuse me. Red marker. This needs commas. What, if any, is the story behind Omega, Lucky, and the channel name? Don't know if this was asked before. P.S. Lucky, check out the art for Spawning Pit from Darksteel. I can Google that real quick. If I get something stupid though, I'm just gonna yeet this question here. Let me see here. Spawning Pit, Darksteel. I'll type that in. Darksteel. Oh, it's a magic card. Magic the Gathering, I should say. Sacrifice a creature. Place a charge counter on the Spawning Pit. Tap 1. Remove 2 charge counters from spawning pit. Put a 2/2 spawn artifact creature token in play. Ooh, it's an artifact creature. That's cool. I should just take this and just replace everything with Terabits. Call it the Terabit spawning pit. I love it.
Yeah, that would be a pretty funny edit. as a person who has occasionally edited some Yu-Gi-Oh cards to do some funny, yeah, you could probably do that. Stick some Terabits in there. Fix the text.
Anyway.
Somebody has to have either made or just knows exactly what fucking font Magic the Gathering is printed in.
I wonder. Anyway, stories behind our names. Well, so Lucky's name actually comes back from several years ago when I was in the My Little Pony community. Lucky and Chance was the name of my well, it wasn't just Lucky and Chance. It was that was the second one. But Lucky was the name of my pony Sona, and I met so many friends in that community that I was just always referred to as Lucky, and so I just started introducing myself as Lucky to people, and the name stuck even though I left the My Little Pony community a long time ago. It's just one of those things that it's just one of those names that when I hear, it's like, yeah, no, that's me. That feels right. It clicks. For the channel name, actually, I'm going to take this one because I actually found it amusing. So when I first met Omega, Omega's always wanted to, have a YouTube channel and make content. Like, as long as I've known, he's always done that. He just never necessarily had the trigger to want to do it. But the thing is the name that he wanted to use originally was Omega Tech. Like,
yeah, that was my internet clan names and stuff for forever.
Mm-hmm. And when we actually started to put this together, I was like, nah, Omega, nah, man. It's like Omega Tech. It doesn't sound like, what did I say? I can't remember what I said, but
it was like 4 fucking years ago. I'm not shocked you can't remember, but you said something, and
I basically said, so you want to, like, it's like, if we're going to be doing, like, multiple things, you want to have it, like, a big thing. Like, a studio. Like, it's some sort of Studio Mega. And Omega was like, I got it. And he just, like, literally just smashed them together. Studio Mega. And made a little logo. He's like, done. I was like, okay, good. Perfect.
Yeah.
It was literally our first little collaborative ideas coming up with the channel name. But, Omega, where did your name come from?
So, I think it's actually quite funny you told your story first, because my screen name as Omega basically comes from the same sort of place. I don't know why I was so hyped for it, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 was coming out, the original one, back in the day when I was like 12. I think it was like the first video game I ever pre-ordered. I got a shirt for it. That shirt has sadly died. That was many, many years ago. But like I pre-ordered. I paid like $8 extra for shipping. So I paid a whole $58, which is not even a whole ass video game these days. My God, inflation. But I was so hyped about this that I got onto GameFAQs' forums. I got permission from my parents to lie about my age, because, Youth Millennium Protection Act, whatever. You can't be under 13 and be on the internet. They're just not allowed to ask you information. I was 12, and my mother was like, I don't care. I can't give them my permission expressly. You can sign up. So I signed up, and I needed a name. So for generic bots in Battlefront, because it was one of those games, clones had Greek letters. So, they were always like Rho, Tau, whatever, and some numbers. Clone trooper numbers. So I was like, I am making an account to go on to a Star Wars community. I'll come up with a kit bash name. It had more bits to it, but the Greek letter I picked was Omega because I always thought it sounded really cool. And also it's the last one. It seems neat. My random digits, by the way, were 10 and 10 because 10 is my favorite number, I guess. It's a number I always see come up with me and like to use because it's nice and round. And then from the GameFAQs boards about the actual game, because the game hadn't come out yet, I got involved with RPing communities that eventually got pulled off board because the game actually came out and then the mods came in and made us go away. And that's how I met a lot of people I knew a lot in my teenage years, some of whom Lucky has met since, and thus even met me. That's where I met our buddy Ron, going by the name Gene. He got into our Star Wars RPing thing. And then it just stuck because that's how I knew those people who I was friends with for so many years. By the way, I was an admin on that text-based RPing board when I was like 13 and 14, and I don't think anybody knew, which is wild to think about these days. Yeah, that's just it. Just stuck with the people I knew, and it was a name I was comfortable with, so I just kept using it for stuff, much like Lucky's own story. Mm-hmm. That's honestly, I think that's just usually how it is you create a name for yourself in one space, and then unless you have a reason to leave that space, you just keep with a name, because that's what people call you. I responded just as much to people calling me Omega because of the power of VoIP, as I do to my real last name. Also, not that my real last name has a lot of meaning. I think I've talked about this. I won't say my last name just in case anybody tries to steal my identity, but my first full name is Christopher, which involves it's Greek in etymology, and it's about the Jesus. I have never really been big on the Jesus, so my name is incredibly ironic because I don't think I've carried Christ anywhere.
I don't know. Have I ever told you the etymology for my name? So
no, I don't think I feel like it's come up, but I don't remember.
So unfortunately, this is going to out me because I don't know. I have never met another person alive or on the internet who's had this name. But Lucky's real name, it's Jeshua. It's spelled Jeshwa. It's Arabic / Hindu, not Hindu, Hebrew in nature, and roughly translated. I won't get into the full things about it. Basically, just roughly means Son of God or God among us. So no, I could be Jesus Christ, and Omega, you have definitely carried me some places.
There we go. It all comes together. There's the lore. But yeah, no. So like, no. Guess what? I don't have a lot of affirmity in my name. I've almost always shortened my name since I was a kid because asking somebody who barely knows how to read and write to spell fucking Christopher is a hard ask. So usually I shorten that to just Chris, but that's not my given legal name.
Oh no, that's actually the same for me because trust me, asking people to spell Christopher, try asking a kid to spell Jeshua.
Well, yeah, that's another one. You have a problem where there's, I suspect that spell check doesn't like your name.
Oh
there's
no,
another
it does
very
not.
Similar, much more popular name.
No, do you know how many times I think my name has caused me so much grief? My own family doesn't even call me by my given name. More people know me by my nickname in real life, I should say. More people know me by my nickname of Joey than they do my actual name of Jeshua. There's several times my workplace has for the longest time had Joey as my name because I was like, yeah, I go by Joey, and it was like, and they were just like, wait, but your name is like actually Jeshua. I was like, yeah, just no one ever can pronounce it or bungles it up or, writes it wrong on very important paperwork. Rip. Do you know how many times I've had like things lost in admin because they put a U instead of a W or they write a Joshua instead of Jeshua? It's horrible.
I can't imagine.
It's like, it's something. So no, usually if I'm in a public place or talking, I introduce myself as Joey, and then, once we get done, it's like, oh no, my name's actually Jeshua. And every time people are always they're always like, oh, what kind of name? Where'd that name come from? I'm like, then I just give the same spiel that I just gave everyone else. No, names are great. Names are fun. But like, I honestly do feel very comfortable in the skin that is Lucky.
Yeah. Names are interesting. If we don't mind diverging a little bit, I know how I have my name. I won't get into the details, but I'm the youngest of a total of 5. I've talked about this before. My parents, both were previously married to somebody else. They got divorced from each of their significant others, and then they met and married each other. My dad likes to tell the story of how he left his divorce proceedings, walked across the hall with the marriage license, and got his license to marry my mom. That's so, yeah. So I'm the youngest of a lot. But all of them were around when I was born in the middle of the night in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in the middle of December. This also, by the way, means I have heard all the... Kids are horrible. So many Kris Kringle jokes. God, because I have a late December birthday. Children, man. But all of my poor siblings were bundled out of bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I was being born, and my parents weren't decided on the name. They wanted the initials to line up. So there was a poll, and my siblings actually came up with my name. So all things considered, I think they did okay. They could have done way worse, considering that I had effectively all bundled them out in the middle of the night, but none of them tried to curse me or anything, so here we are. There you go. There's all your deep lore about names and stuff.
Mine's not as interesting. My mom bet her best friend whether be a boy and a girl, and she lost. So my mom didn't even name me; it was her friend. By the way, if I had been born a girl, my name would have been Michaela. My mom snuck that in. My first middle name is Mikhail. But I do believe that is enough. That we should move on. So that was a good question. Props to you. I'll give you a flower, even though I have to butcher this. So we move on. This next one comes from mild-mannered Mothra, awaiting the advent of multiple Mothmen. They say, salutations to the eternal Omega and reincarnating Lucky. Happy Spawn Day at the time of writing, and congratulations on the 4+ years of the channel. Lucky has put a powerful mood in the header that I cannot deny feeling in my own existence. But the important thing I keep working to do, in spite of my upbringing, is to follow Lucky's advice and know when to tell the doubters to fuck off. And this applies both to societal expectations of progress and especially the ingrained self-doubt in the brain. Just because we struggle to know how our gray matter works doesn't mean that it's not a hyperactive computer churning out search results at the slightest thought. Thoughts don't mean anything deeper than what we attach to them. Long story short, the impact of you two is felt. Maybe it's not everything you believed it would be, but it's still a net good. Here's hoping the future not only continues that positivity, but that fortune smiles upon you both and things progress towards thy imagined ideals. Mothra out. Bug bomb. What did I say about no RPing in the question?
They only read the header, Lucky. They got deep and spiritual and forgot to read the rules. Though, to be fair, that's the newest one. That's at the very bottom. No, we'll skip the bolding. We don't do that anymore.
We'll skip the bolding.
Thanks so much, though, for saying that. We appreciate, that people actually feel like we reach out and touch somebody. Not in the bad way. Do not put this in a compilation later. You know that's not how I meant it. I'll fight you. But God, we've been through so much stuff of doubting we got to, and we have doubts now. I mean, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but our patron revenue is ticked down slightly this month. Several people have unfortunately had to cancel their pledges because of changing financial situations. I get it. The world's still fucked up. I am shocked, actually, that when the pandemic and the lockdown started, our patronage numbers actually went up. So I guess this is kind of that balancing out as people get towards the tail of that. But we're still out here doing stuff as long as we can, as much as we can. We would appreciate if you guys, show us your support financially, but emotionally is just fine.
Oh yeah, no.
If there was nothing but money and there was no soul, I don't think we could do this. No. We could do it for a little bit, but eventually we'd get tired.
Very tired. But as they were talking about, what Mothra here is referring to is in the header of this week's mailbag. I put basically what happens every year, and the fact that I always look back of what I did that year, and I'm just all like, no, I didn't do much. Didn't do much. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like me. I'm gonna lay it down on the floor and just have existential dread as I tick slowly towards my next death. It's just like, ugh. So, this is also usually the time where I start making plans of what things I want to do. So who knows? Maybe we'll see an uptick from me. We will see. More on that later.
Stay tuned for watch What's Up. It's a great show. It's a great way to support us, and it gives us more. You like us being deep just now? You like our life stories? That's all What's Up. 5 hours and nothing but nonsense about stuff that's happening. No guarantee that this week's episode will be 5 hours, by the way.
Probably
will be long, though. You have Gamescom to talk about. A lot of stuff. We're gonna get sassy too. Warning. There will be sass.
There will be sass. Maybe a little bit of ass. But with neither here nor there, we shall move on. This next one comes from Master debating the comparative dangers of Moriarty's bar versus Kama's lemonade stand. Honestly, I would say Kama's lemonade stand. Moriarty, he's an evil, but he's not going to get you drunk. He'll make you think you're getting drunk, but won't actually give you any alcohol.
Yeah.
Kama will just get you drunk. And say it was to your health benefit or something.
Alternatively, Kama will try and make you buy her bathwater because it's funny.
Yeah, she would.
But that's just a prank. If Melt tries to sell you bathwater, don't buy that. That's actually Melt's body. It's a trick. She's trying to eat you.
But they say, hi, Lucky Omega. During the bar scene in Summer 4, Jean Alter suggests to Max that she could try acting more Alter-like. It's played off as a gag, but given the Lightworks penchant for hiding references in future story beats as seemingly innocuous or throwaway lines, such as the Venti hunting at her own summer variant, with an aside about how she wanted to go along on the summer shenanigans this time, do you think this is another case of DW dropping a hint of something to come coming in the future? Would it be possible for a match to manifest an alter, either on her own through a particular stressful situation, or due to some external force messing with Galahad's spirit core. We have seen that Galahad's mental state can at least have some effect on her, particularly when Lancelot is around. So, off the top of my head, I do know there are some designs for a mash altar running around.
Yes, I believe that was a like Dojin project, but it had some of FGO's artists working on it. I also need to. I'm trying to double check a publishing date, which is very hard when dealing with Fate stuff because for some reason this is the one thing the Type Moon Wiki refuses to tell you is when something was fucking published. But I'm looking for when Fate Requiem was published first, because Requiem also features as one of the major supporting characters, Galahad Alter. So depending on when those two things were, it's entirely possible that this was a reference to, that was like an out of place joke that would be going on. The timing on that would line up very well, I think. Like, the first one was published in, what was it, the late 2018? 2019 in Japan? So that could be a reference to that. That would have already come out. Yeah, to the, like, mechanical question, can MASH be an alter? I mean, we did a Teach Me about this way in the past. Being an alter is like a nonsense thing. It's some thing that Nasu made up once. Being alternative, there's no actual rules for alters, they just happen, right? So, I think that any servant could be altered. Will there actually be a MASH alter? I don't fucking know.
Particularly leaning towards a no. Like I said, because like I said, if there's one thing that's constant in this game, it's your eggplant. You don't necessarily want to mess them around that by playing with that and whatnot. Also,
especially after we've gone to so much effort to only just now get MASH's regular ass skill set back, allegedly. That I don't know how the game would handle, because like MASH has many costumes, but she's never had a summer alt, right? She just has a summer costume, right. Like I don't know if the game story wise can handle multiple MASHs. That's probably a pretty good way to put it. Somebody in chat said MASH could harbor an alter servant in her demi-servant capacity, but she's not actually a servant. She is a demi-servant. She is a human who has been given servant powers through skill inheritance. This is only a thing for MASH. Seriously, there's like 4 different types of human-servant hybrid shit, and they're all different. Nasu, please, you're killing me. Anyway.
Smalls.
Yeah, killing me, Smalls. Anything else to say about that, though? In my brain was just that meme of the cartoon of the ticking clock. Do, 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 do. And then it rings. No, I got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I got nothing either. So...
Advance!
We move on. This next one comes from Moon is now back into K-pop hell, though just listening to old classics since they're still good and doesn't want to go for new stuff. You should try the new stuff.
I feel about music. But also sometimes you gotta listen to some new shit.
Like, I don't necessarily go looking for new wild genres outside of what I know, I'll like peruse around. If I like hear artists that I like and there's like a recommended artist that sounds kind of like how they do, it's like, yeah, no, that's great. It's like how I discovered my love of Trisale because I'm a big fan of Claris, and it was like, oh, if you like Claris, you should try Trisale. I'm like, all right, I'll try it again. I'll try it. I'm like, yeah, this is good. So they say, question. Hey there, Lucky and Omega. What servants which servants do you think would know how to dance very well? My top pick is Quetz. Oh, dancing servants, huh?
Well, I suspect there's quite a few servants who are probably actually of the time period to be trained in classical ballroom dancing. Mary, for instance, probably a big one.
I mean, I throw Matahari down on that plate, too.
Yeah, Matahari knows a lot about lots of dancing. It's kind of her thing. She was an exotic dancer.
Literally?
Yeah, no, it's a big strike zone. Like, I don't know anything from, like, history. Did Napoleon know how to dance? He was pretty up there for a while. He was an officer before becoming emperor of fucking France. Like, yeah, there could be lots of people who know how to dance good.
Yeah, no, it's a style I guess you have to narrow it down by the style of dance, but I don't think I necessarily want to think about that. It seems
Yeah, like listen, we love our diatribes on these kind of like broad, open-ass questions. But also, like, fuck, dancing is like, it's like if you asked us, what servants do you think are good at music besides the musician? I'd be like, I don't fucking know. Or like, what genres of music do servants like? Well, it would depend on the servant. Speaking of music in this question. Dante's is a classical gentleman. He probably knows how to ballroom dance, yeah. Melt is literally a prima ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to who's the best dance, definitely I would put Melt on the top.
Mm-hmm. Put Melt
BB
in there.
does 6 spins, you know? I don't know if that counts, but, you know, BB spin you right round.
Let's see here.
Also, to the earlier conversation, you know, talking about music, there would be so many bands I wouldn't know about if I didn't just, like, either hear, like, a 5-second clip and then dive into their discography, or just so many times on the internet I've seen random clips of songs and just been like, check this out, and I click it and I'm like, oh, shit.
My jam!
I think that's how it was. Is that how I was introduced to Glitch Mob? They're an electronica band I really like. Still producing music. They're cool. But yeah, dancing was a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, just hit your Spotify discovery. It's great.
YouTube has been also been jamming so many ads lately about how every Friday you should check out their new release playlists. I'm slightly annoyed by this because these are always unskippable ads. YouTube, seriously, you need to do self-serve unskippables? Come on. But yeah, no, like there's a lot of emphasis on discovering music out there.
Mm-hmm.
Discovering dance, though, I don't know. I mean, like I suspect that like let's you know, we can throw out some oddball ones. Suzuka probably knows a thing about like some like rhythm game type dancing, considering her JK act. You know, she'd probably try to be current with the trends. Blackbeard knows how to meme dance, obviously.
I'm pretty sure Blackbeard knows how to do all the Fortnite dances.
Yes, and then we make him explode for being such a fucking nerd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see though. I'm trying to think. I'm afraid to admit I haven't really thought necessarily of servants and their dance capabilities. Well, let's see here. Also, by that same note, Tomoe is probably good at rhythm game dancing.
Yeah, she knows about rhythm games. I mean, her Summer Tomoe's outfit, one of them is basically like her playing Beat Saber. So,
yeah.
Trying to think. Obviously, a lot of our musical servants, while they are like usually performers or composers, they would still probably have a good sense of rhythm. Though I don't actually know if Mozart knew how to dance very well. He would certainly try.
What? I feel like fucking Fumo Kotaro would be great at breakdancing, and I don't know why.
It's the ninja moves. He would also be good at the ninja rap. Go ninja, go.
No.
Speaking of music that died in the early 90s, that's a callback joke. Honestly, it would probably be easier to assemble lists of servants who probably can't fucking dance.
It probably would.
King Protea, probably not a good dancer because she's huge, mostly because of the collateral damage.
I'm about to say, maybe it's not that she's not a good dancer, it's that she shouldn't dance, just in general.
Lip, probably in the same category. You can't really do, like, you try to do, like, the prom dance hand clasp, but she just high-fives you into a wall. Whoops. I'm not gonna say none of the Celts can dance. I don't know what Celtic folk dancing is like, but those guys know how to fucking party. Coup is not a square. Sexual predator? Possibly. Square? Not. But, like, there's a lot of, like, I don't know much about, like, is there... I assume there's probably some kind of, like, Greek folk dancing, but I don't know anything about it. Can Herc dance? I don't know.
I think the other question is, do you want Herc to dance? Again.
I want Herc to give me some Enerloop batteries. Characters who are connected, like, any Japanese characters who are connected to, like, actually connected to, like, classic, shrines or anything like that, probably know some traditional folk dancing. That's a very big part of festivals, is certain folk dances.
That'd be great.
Like... I mean, hell, that is basically kind of what Tombo's High Ascension attacks are, her animations. Like, that's part of, like, a lot of the traditional dancing styles. Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah, I don't really... I am not a trained dancer in any way, so yeah, no, I don't think I know enough about the history of dance to answer this question very well.
Yeah.
Now I need to go on a deep dive. Who invented dance? They're a servant, for sure. That's our move. We should dig in who invented, like, ballroom dancing. Make them a servant.
But with that, I think we stuck on this long enough. Let us move on. This next one comes from Shion, who says, "Greetings, Lucky and Omega. I just want to say thank you for everything you do. No, thank you. for sitting here and listening to us for several hours a week. Jesus, I don't know how you people do it. I really don't.
I think I've talked about this before, but I die every time YouTube sends us our monthly stats, and it shows how many hours people have watched us, and I'm just like, I bust out my calculator and turn that into, like, days, and I'm just like, what? Like, every time. So, shout out to you.
Okay. Shout out to you.
A point and a wink, brothers.
So, with that, though, thank you very much for that lovely, lovely sentiment. We are going to move on again. This next one comes from Unnaturally Sleepy Suna. I have been living that life myself, unfortunately. I have not been able to put as much time into Final Fantasy XIV. I cry. I actually miss both our weekly playdates. We did not get to do all the fun stuff. I cry. I cry so far away. But with that, they say, hey guys, hope the week has been good for y'all. No question for me this week. Love the content and hearing y'all talk about FGO and everything else. May the Wiggles bless your roll. Gal. You see, I wasn't planning on rolling, but now that there's this Kyo map and there's another chance for Kentucky, I'm just like, God damn it, I do want me a Kentucky. And it might come with the side of Murasaki. I'm just like, no. And if I get another Raikou, I'm not going to be mad. What is my Raikou at? Like MP3?
I'm good.
Like
I already have
game.
MP1 of all three of those servants, and I need space money. Space.
Yeah.
Need a lot of space money. Don't think I'm going to get it, though. Probably going to have to bust out my wallet, because, oh, is it Summer Raikou? Wow, lucky there's any of those. That's, no.
I thought it was just regular Raikou. My bad. Oh, God. Sorry, I had
play. It's the scene from The Shining. Only it's Summer Raikou busting through on the other end.
Oh, man. Actually, oh, man, I thought it was regular. Oh, no. Chat is going wild, but like, get it, Lucky? I'm like, no. No. Why do you wish this upon me? A pox upon you. I don't know. I might spend a little bit of money on the Killmouth banner, specifically for Kentucky. I don't think. Is there a day when Kentucky and Murasaki are on the same rate up?
Possibly. Usually, if there's two, there's a double. Though some of those like event-based banners are weird.
Let's see here. I'll check on that. Actually, let me see here. I can check right now. I have FGO open. I just unlocked my phone. Yes.
Anyway, shout out to you, Suna, for appreciating us, and also for appreciating our content that's not just this. I know we don't have a great conversion rate on our other stuff, though, as I've noted before, sometimes we get weird viewership spikes that we also appreciate. Hey, if you watched, last 48 hours, are we being hacked? 51 views on Anime Power Hour? Hi, if you're here for watching fucking Anime Power Hour, first of all, I'm sorry. I apologize. Second of all, hi, how you doing? Watch What's Up. It's like Power Hour, but instead of trying to, we figured out what was wrong with Power Hour. It was trying to contain ourselves to an hour. So we did What's Up instead, which is more hours.
Very more hours. We're all sorry for Anime Power Hour. Yes. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that Anime Power Hour is just kind of, I don't want necessarily it's iconic, but we need to refer to it every once in a while. I'll be like, no, yeet it. Delete it from our history. It never existed. But no, unfortunately, we need it to exist.
No, because we reference it, and honestly, I think it's a good look at where we were at a certain point in our careers, and then we realized it didn't work, and we moved to a different show. Like, we stopped it and retooled it.
Oh yeah, by the way, there's two double rate ups for Murasaki and Kentucky. So yeah, I might spend a little bit of money. I won't go ham. Actually, I think I'll probably allocate my September funds to this and see if I can get this going. But that is enough on that. With that, though, we shall move on. This next one comes from Nature's dangerous, civilization is precious, space is big. Time will end us all with her ara. Her voice is so great! Oh!
Yeah,
God damn it!
Listen, guys, I think I've talked about before how I have appreciation for ladies of a slightly lower register. Holy shit, guys! TV Tropes has a trope for this. It's called Contralto of Danger. I love it. Not that I know much about singing tones either way.
By the way, I interrupted. Time will end us all with her ara, which is correct. Chaos is all over the place, like her accent. But as always, sensual is love, sensual is life.
You put this after 4 line breaks just to make us open read more. Why?
Don't, Robin. Don't.
There's 2 ways this joke can go.
I don't want either of them.
Rat. Oh, hey, it's a lion. Loth, thank you for showing restraint. Now that I've acknowledged you, you can cease to show restraint. That's the other way this could have gone.
Anyway.
Yeah, you didn't post the gifts about Final Fantasy. Which is, that's a joke I associate with Loth and several people around him. Chaos. Oh, we're going to be dining out on that one forever.
Question. Ahoy. Hope you're both well and ready for a lot of... Do you think Chaldea has a stock of Kanyu? Do they have a stock of Kanyu?
This is some high-level reference shit. Lucky, I believe we're being D's nuts right now.
Probably. So I'm just gonna... It's a joke that I don't get, so unfortunately I'm just gonna have to yeet it.
Can you fit D's nuts? I think that's the direction we're going in there. Anyway, have fun with that. By the way, speaking of like our old shit, hey, if you ever want to like see some weird nonsense, y'all should, if you can, I don't know if other people can do this, like, go to our videos and reverse sort by views, see what's not viewed. It's very funny. Like, it's all me streaming Life is Strange or when Lucky played Bioshock Remastered. Robin got the joke.
He dropped it.
Like,
those
are all of our old shit, and then it gets to like some chaotic random stuff. You have to go down the list quite a ways though before you hit some power hours that nobody fucking watched. But alrighty.
We shall move on. This next one comes from Help. My wallet has committed Stella after using clairvoyance and seeing the LB6 and anniversary banners 2 years from now, and hasn't even seen summer yet. Yeah, it just yeeted itself into the void. But they say, I got nothing this week. Just a simple hello to you great lads. Dow. Thanks to the DW and those quality of life updates, and good luck to everyone prepping for the grind. Gilfest.
Haha, you think it's about Gil, you do.
Anyway, thank you very much for the kind words, and hope things go well for you as well. This next one comes from Jester LaFay, who will make the Ultimate Sea Show a grand in 2 years. I'm assuming that means you're just going to pump a lot of resources into it. Honestly, I bet that's what people are doing like right now. They're like, I got 2 years. I'm going to start collecting all the embers.
Just a 2-year-long, DBZ power-up yell. What? You can't hold enough embers. True facts. I actually believe literally you can't for some of this stuff.
Well, let's see. What is the maximum? What is the maximum? Oh, that is true. There is a lot of right before anniversary. That's crazy. It's like they planned it.
Yeah, they did a weird ass. They probably did. They were like, "Fuck, we need to like give people a shitload of EXP. How do we do this? We'll take up a Lotto event. What do we do? We'll rerun a Nerofest from like 4 years ago. We would go for 6 years. We could do that. Some of these people don't remember that Nerofest.
Well, also, Toronto, you got to remember the present box isn't infinite, and things do have a time limit.
Yes,
it's a long ass time limit.
Prison on present box. Cap on prison box. What the fuck is the max on second archive in JP right now? It's a lot. But considering you're mostly doing it with 4-star embers, that's still like... Because that's the thing, right? It's very hard to pre-prep 5-star embers because they're not super accessible until we get the update with those things. But somebody will tell me the numbers there. But yeah, this person has a question to do.
That they do. Hey, Lucky Omega. Was wondering if you guys knew why some of the units' new skills do extra damage against classes they normally wouldn't be up against. I get why Mash will do extra damage to the extra classes and why Morgan would have crit resist from Saberns giving Artoria. But Skahawk deals extra damage to her fellow Lancers. I've been focusing on work these last few weeks, so apologize if this has been asked already. It is not, my dude. Cheers, everyone, and may your rolls in Gilfest drops be blessed. Live, laugh, repeat. Honestly, I think it's because she stabs Ku.
Well, I will say, you have to fight her a lot. Like, she fights Ku a lot. She's supposed to be stronger than Lancers. There is also this whole thing about in America, remember, she has this big long showdown with Lancer Lee. Like, it makes sense that she is stronger than... She is a Lancer who is strong against other Lancers. We cannot dive into everybody's, extra damage modifier, because it's literally for everyone. They rolled it all at once. This is kind of similar to how they added bond CEs for servants, like, over time after a while. Like, we couldn't take forever and discuss everybody's extra damage. But as a general rule, you should assume that the reason a servant does that extra damage modifier is probably because of some kind of lore reference, right? Like, presumably it is related to something in their backstory or background or time with FGO, right? Yeah, it could be a reference to an interlude or something. Goodness knows. Like, let's just grab some randos. Merlin does bonus damage versus Berserkers. That's probably because of Morgan. I'll grab another rando. Yes, it's probably Riders because of Heaven's Feel. Bradamante, bonus damage versus Riders. That's either Kets or Astolfo. You know? Here, I'll throw out another one. I'll see what normal Astolfo's is. Is it going to be Sabers? That would be very funny. Third skill. It is Sabers. Haha. Trust no one, not even yourself. Yeah, no. So, yeah, it's going to be references to, like... By the way, why did I call Sabers for Astolfo? Because of, various relationships at the whatchamacallit. Vesper, I want to... Listen, I know you're being a Gremlino, but I do want to shout out to you. You are managing your high gremlin energy, well, at least according to Discord, you are posting on mobile, which is crazy. Cross-referencing
well, he is.
Nonsense.
He is correct. I have given in. It's like, no, I will retweet. I will retweet Crony.
Yeah.
I was battling
Astolfo
it.
fought Mordred in APOC and was only interrupted by the Astolfo's master. Similar shenanigans. Like, I think somebody called out Kama is good against Lancers. It would either be that or give him bonus damage versus Archers, but I don't think that's what any of them do. Like, let me know if they give class advantage against the class they already have advantage against, but I assume they don't because that would be against the purpose of the skill. I presume it's just, nonsense. So, yeah, there you go. We rolled out some randos. Just think about it a little. Yeah, Chloe against casters makes sense. That tracks. She did have that whole rivalry where he tried to kill Ilya for a little bit, and Ilya is a caster. Is Ishtar Archers? If it's not Archers, it's gonna be funny. Like, but once again, there are like over 300 servants. Mm-hmm. Oh, sick! No, Ishtar gets extra damage versus rulers. No idea why. That I don't know at all. Is that a joke about the fact that Space Ishtar is an Avenger? It could be. And that makes sense. Steno versus Riders. That also is. She already should have class advantage. It's interesting. I mean, Steno's kind of a weak ass unit, so I could see why. Maybe they don't do it for units who are already high damage output.
So Ishtar can Ishtar can fucking bully Luvia.
Oh, perfect. By the way, I'm absolutely gonna invest in that append skill because that's fucking sick. 30% bonus damage versus rulers. Take me out to the ball game, everybody. Wait, does that mean that Luvia's is Archers? Hold on, I have to double check now. That makes perfect sense if Tomo's Moon Cancers. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Luvia's is Archers. It's the perfect circle. Yeah, so basically this is the logic. Like, look at it for 5 seconds. Think about the funny. For Kiara, like, it makes perfect sense for it to be rulers. There's a lot of these interesting back and forths. I bet MHX is Sabers, because of course it is. So yeah, there you go. That should hopefully answer your question. You just gotta think a little bit.
Oh, all right, but I think we should move on from that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we're only like halfway done, and we've been here an hour. But this is why we don't have an hour time limit.
Mm-hmm. The next one comes from a master explaining how hickeys work to a blushing bar guest while we help her make dinner for the round table knights.
Lewd.
Very. Hey, Lucky Omega. Sorry for the misinformed statement about sabers last week. Apparently writing a question near midnight after an 8-hour shift is not the best in terms of being accurate.
No, it isn't.
It's not, no. Anyway, what are the chances you think that the Lost Spell Chancers will be animated at some point? I can't wait for what the future holds. And happy belated Spawn Day, Lucky. Well, thank you very much.
To answer your question, I'm going to say high. Very high.
Yes. I don't know if we'll necessarily get full series out of them, but I can definitely see some movies.
Yeah, for sure we could see movies or OVAs. If they did do a series, it would probably be like, once all of them are out, they would do a poll like they did for the part 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they would, whichever one won the most, they'd be like, we can turn this into a full 24 episodes.
Honestly, personally, I do think that probably Lost Belt 1 would probably be the best one for a series at the moment.
Yes. I don't know, 6 is really fucking long, is the problem.
Yeah.
You could probably cram the plots of 3 and 4 into a 2-hour movie. The climax of 4 is just 30 minutes of DBZ punch fight.
Yeah, I think India would make a good movies.
The ones that would probably be best for like full series builds is I would say probably 1 and 2. Those probably have the best pacing for that kind of thing. You could probably cram most of the guts of Lost Belt 2 into a single core. You might need more than 13 episodes for Lost But 1, though, because there's a lot of build-up. Oh, yeah, no, the prologue should be an OVA just like First Order.
It would literally spring off of the back of Moonlight in the Lost Room.
Yeah. And presumably whatever the conclusion for the Solomon movie was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can flow from one bit to the other. We'll see, though. I suspect that EOR adaptations are probably next. And I do believe Shimosa was rated pretty highly on that poll when people were talking about them. Shimosa would be a rad-as-hell animated adaptation. Epic of Remnants you should expect never to see animated will be Agartha and Salem. Sorry. Rest in pepperoni. Agartha could have some funny action scenes, but there's definitely would be some weird moments that I don't know if how they'd be able to handle them. Yeah, there's some manga stuff. Shinjuku I think would be cool. You need to work on the pacing, though. That could probably be an OVA. But yeah, no, we've definitely answered your question about Lost Belts will almost assuredly be animated at some point in some form.
Some point. But with that, we shall move on. Oh, with this, we move on to... I'll come up with one later.
You did.
Hey, y'all. With the back-to-school campaign bringing us more UI and quality of life updates, what are some of the things y'all would like to see, in both the terms of things received earlier than JP, and in terms of quality of life/UI updates, that would just make things a lot better? Personally, I've heard someone say that we should be allowed to just click and receive rewards, obviously our AP would be taken, from free quests that we've already done if we kept the same team. Hopefully this comes off clearly. Regards, crap, I got to the end, I still didn't think of one.
Yeah, asking about things received, like, future JP stuff, I don't know, I don't play the JP version, and, like I said, they get, like, monthly quality of life patches, so I don't even know where they're at right now with features. Like, they're constantly updating, so I don't know. We've definitely been asked about quality of life and UI updates we'd like in the past. I'm racking my brain to remember what some of those ideas were. Obviously, like, if they did find a way to simplify grinding of certain quests, that would be okay, but I just don't know if FGO's engine or paradigm is built to handle that.
Personally, I would not like something like that. I wouldn't mind an auto feature, per se, but if I just push a button and I get rewards, I feel that that's more rewarding laziness than anything else, personally.
Yeah, like, I know farming free quests is kind of tedious, that's why they've updated the drop rates. I think, yeah, an auto battle button for a free quest you've already cleared, right? You've already got the Saint Quartz out of it. That would probably be fine. Like, just be like, auto. Pick your team, enter auto mode. It just asks you to reloop, and then it pauses when you run out of AP, and it's like, hey, would you like to refill? Because, like, we've already got the skeleton of that in, right? Like, all that would need is for FGO to develop an algorithm to, like, pick cards, right? And possibly to use skills, or to not use skills. We don't even know. Maybe you don't use skills at all, right?
Actually, I think Filthy Casual might have a better idea. Introduce a new currency of skip tickets. Still spend the currency to, like, bypass a battle. I don't think
that's
necessarily...
also another good idea.
Yeah. Like, it should cost you something besides just AP to basically circumvent the game mechanics.
Yeah, like, maybe you get, like, 1 or 2 a week, and you can buy more with, like, mana prisms or something, and then you can use them to, like, skip free quests or whatever. Possibly even, like, skip event quests, event free quests kind of a thing, too, because that's always a pain in the ass. Either of those, I think, would work. I think FGO could be close to those. I think the only question is just, like, for skip tickets, is, like, when do they calculate drops? But if you had to spend a currency, that would probably be very easy. You would spend the currency, the server would be like, you're spending a skip ticket. Hold on, let me do some math real quick. Here's your drops, sir. And then we move on.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't think of any quality of life updates off the top of my head that I
Listen, we've been doing this for, like, over 200 episodes. Just go back in the archives and find when we got asked that question before. You don't even have to listen to all of them. We've only been doing mailbag for, what, a year?
A year, I think.
Yeah, how about then? You only have to go back 50 episodes.
Listen, I know there's some mad lads out there who've actually marathoned our entire thing. How do you do it? I don't know.
I know there was one person who not too long ago apparently was, like, finally making their way through our AP backlog of Mages of War. And then said they were moving on to Star Wars, for which I am sorry, because that one's at 81 episodes now and still going strong.
Oh, but we have hit the fulcrum point, though. Jesus.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that. Shit. But we will talk about that tomorrow. Unfortunately, I do believe that is it for this, and I want to move on. So thank you very much for that. This next one comes from Alia Summer Zed, just Zed. who says, comment, hello Lucky Omega, how are you doing? That is not a comment, that is a question. Hope you two are doing well. So did you get what I was doing within the past 5 weeks?
No.
We
never get anything.
I am dumb. Question, this has probably been asked before, but here's my question. I'm looking at the artists for the game and know that a few are hentai artists, so what hentai artists do you want to design a new servant in the future? I personally pick Asanagi. I like their art style for waifus. My answer doesn't change. It's Pochi.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, let's be real. If people don't realize, hey, Takeuchi's technically a porn artist because this started as a fucking Arrow game.
Yeah.
He's drawn Saber's tits before. That's how this shit started. So, yeah, no, I don't think FGO has ever been shy about hiring artists who do erotica on the side. I understand that some people are interested in the styles like Asanagi. I don't remember the name of the artist for all the timing and stuff, but I know they do a lot of work because they have their own gacha like action game, whatever. Fuck it. Lucky's weird enough for both of us. I do know that there are some artists out there whose styles I like. I do also know that Mizudu K, for instance, did some work for Hololive before having to part, in addition to also doing some actual porn of Marine. They've got an interesting, like, super slick art style. There's a lot of other artists, like, it's so... Like, there's a lot of detail work that goes into drawing naked people. There are a lot of artists out there who just have really distinctive, clean styles that would be interesting.
You know, like, off the top of my head, I would definitely like to see a Pochi, a Fue, probably an Amahara or Kulkyo, or the fuck they can collab together. It's like, their styles actually mesh really well together, believe it or not. It's crazy.
Regura has also some really interesting interpretations of FGO characters anyway.
Yes.
They could really channel this energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot out there. Like I said, there's a lot of artists out there killing it with distinctive styles. And, Lucky at least, I think, has a leg up on everybody because Pochi's already done a CE.
Yes.
Also, I mean, if you want to do the reverse thing, Pochi's also done a Hololive VTuber design. And then we keep going down the hole because the last batch of Hololive EN, in case we weren't clear last week, that's got some more FGO alums in there. Both Paco, the absolute mad person, and Wadarko did designs. And like I said, I think I said this off mic, but Wadarko, very proud mama, constantly tweeting about Crony.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
So yeah, there's a lot of wiggle room out there.
Honestly, I really do love the VTuber, artist, what's the word I want to call it? Family feels like, oh no, it's great. It's like how Pochi, will regularly collab with her daughter. Actually, I think that's her next. Is that her next stream where she's actually designing a new costume for her? It's like no, it's like I love it.
Well, and once you go even deeper down the route, like Pochi's also a VTuber herself. She designed her own avatar.
Yep.
By the way, this is also another thing I wanted to throw out there. We should not be shocked that Wadarko was hired to do a VTube design because do remember that last year to promo Extra Remake, they did do a VTuber rig for Rin in the extra art style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really that shocking. It already means somebody has already worked on applying Wadarko's art designs to a 3D rig.
Oh, Pochi's so great. She does regular English lessons so she can just talk with all her overseas fans because she has plenty. Oh, Pochi, I love you, marry me. Oh, but with that, I need to cool down. Ooh. And we should probably move on.
Next.
Thank you very much. This next one comes from, I just kind of exist at this moment. Bruh, don't we all? But they say, Dear Lucky and Omega, give me a minute. Alright, if the Saber class was introduced to the game, how do you think it would work with advantages and resistances? And what's an unconventional servant for that class? Have the goodest of times, I just need something at the moment. From, what name again? Tired is my mood, isn't it? Honestly, with Saber, I don't know, man. I feel like Saber would just be some weird outlier like Shielder is. Maybe it just has advantage against everything.
I mean, that would be pretty funny, yeah. Like, if they're just a fucking broke-ass class that has, like, Berserker-style semi-advantage against everybody.
Oh no, it has advantage against everyone, but it has it's like, it has a worse attack modifier than Assassin. So yeah, it hurts, it hits pretty hard, but guess what? You're not actually doing as much damage.
Alternatively, I mean, I suspect that if they did the original Saver from Extra, the Buddha, his attack to HP ratios would be HP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting like messianic figures and people. I don't even know like who would be a weird one. I mean, the funniest one would be to just capitalize on the joke they've made and actually do Kiara Saver. But
yeah, that's my immediate thought. Honestly, Saber would probably be some weird. I won't necessarily like. What the thing is like I don't think they've actually fully defined what a saver is. They usually just say the messianic figure, but we only have so many so many of those in the world. Like fuck, like, you can say the J-Man, you can say Bahamut, you can say Buddha, I was about to say Bahamut because I was going to say Buddha and Muhammad. Yes, our Lord and Savior Bahamut.
I mean, Vishnu the Preserver, one of his avatars could easily fit in there, but those are also classical heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but all we know about Saver, and we may know more because we are getting an extra remake. They may actually deeper dive on this. Seva, not Seba, Seva. Are heroic spirits of salvation and are in a regular extra class for Messiah type servants. That's all we got. We do know that they come with charisma as a class skill. They have built-in charisma, and they have the counter hero ability, which reduces the statistics of heroes faced in combat. Which ironically is why I actually thought that Saver would have been a good case for pretender slot. But I don't actually even know. Like, it would probably be interesting if they had a weird like class divide where, like you said, they're a little bit good against beating up at least all of the 7 classical classes, and then maybe they were weak to extra classes because those are non-standard.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm presuming that FGO will not be going that route and will probably not be touching on it because they haven't. Even though, gosh, I think we could really use a messianic figure sometimes in this. They haven't appeared, so we got to solve our own problems.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave that thought for later, but because I want to move on. So, thank you very much for the question. It's something to think about, but unfortunately, we don't have enough information to truly pull upon. So,
like I said, hopefully with that extra remake, we'll get a little more clarity.
So, moving on, our next one comes from Kids. Do your weekly master missions. Don't be me, i.e., flubbing them for 2 weeks in a row now. I, Steve, am prone to laziness at times. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, how's the downtime going? Catching up with interludes while they're half off got me to 120 interludes complete. Did one with Enkidu recently, and I must admit, it was pretty great. I do like that the more recent interludes tend to do a lot more for Saren's character development than some of the older ones. Animaries, for example, are just fetch quests that sometimes give you 10 million QP. Listen, though, that's 10 million QP. I'm not going to be mad for doing fetch quests for 10 million QP.
Also,
I'm really not.
Just because those things give you more doesn't also mean that Enkidu's new interlude isn't a bitch and a half. What the fuck? That first pip where it's just Mordred, no master support, that's literally just RNG. You can't even spend fucking command seals. I hate it.
And they do have a point, like hecking, since I actually finally leveled Siegfried, I was finally able to do their interlude, and
yeah, old ass interludes back when they were just like Saint Court's interludes for the most part. They're weird. Mm-hmm. They're really weird. I don't think they knew what the fuck they were doing. Yeah, I think MHX's like second interlude, and it's just you fight Nero twice with 2 Legionnaires just because she's fighting all sabers, and I'm like, why did we do this fight twice?
But yeah, no, it's like it was interesting, but like yeah, no, it really didn't do much. It just talked a little bit about his lore. You got to go punch some dragons, and hey, but then like I will say that recent ones are getting better, like story wise. Like I said, like I loved Pervardes as she takes over the prefect's job, and she basically basically visit everyone from, well, not everyone. You go see most of the people from the India Lost Belt because you run into it's because it's Ganesha playing games with Tomoe and Osakabe Hime while Lakshmi Bai and who is she playing? Oh yeah, no, wait. Who is she playing games with?
Tuck my Parvati into my back row because I got her costume, so I'm pretty sure she's.
Oh yeah. Yes. I'm not gonna butcher that name, so I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, she was playing board games. So yeah, no. And then you just go next one. It's like Asha Fataman and hanging out with the bros. I do enjoy the fact that basically Boudica put him in a death grip and shoved hot stew down his throat. That was great.
I don't know how old it was, but I did Tristan's interlude recently. I think that was the last batch of interludes, but I finally got around to doing it with the AP because I got his bond leveled. That one's pretty interesting because even though it's Tristan's interlude, you never fight with Tristan. You only fight Tristan with the various knights of the round. Up to Lancer Artoria are just like, no, Tristan, it's okay. You don't have to be sad about Camelot. It's all right. It's fine. Please. Like, he's just, like, kind of upset about how he was in Camelot, and, like, does he or does he not understand people's feelings? And you make him understand that he's okay, because Lancer Artoria poops his snoot.
I still think my favorite one is Lancer Artoria's, because...
By the way, hey, that spoils that. There's actually a question after the read more we haven't even gotten to.
Oh, shit.
It's about interludes you like. Don't worry, sir. We've already been answering your question ahead of time.
Oh, yeah, okay. My question for you two is, which of the interludes has stood out to you the most? Personally, the one that sticks to me is Scheherazade for basically giving her more in terms of character development and 8 pips than Agartha did in 20. That's a lie. You're just salty about Agartha.
That's not entirely true, but it is still fairly... I mean, I don't know if it does more character development, but it does character development in a way that people generally like her better now.
Yeah, no. I get that, but no. Scheherazade was still the same person. It's just... You have her, and she's not on the opposite side anymore. But, what was that? Ozymandias one, where he wants to challenge Proto-Arthur, also springs to mind, given its greater implications of what may come to pass in the future lost belts, or maybe an event. Third, Yangqing, the man has one of the most adorable smiles in game in his interlude, where he must come to terms with his own darkness, was a nice touch, especially the way it was framed. Oops, excuse me. Best of luck during the lottos. Hopefully I can give about 100 to 150 boxes by the time the event ends. How many will the two of you be aiming for? Around 50. But I started this earlier, but Lancer Artoria always sticks out to me because it's not necessarily, I won't say that it's necessarily the most well written, but it was the most entertaining to me. It's like fucking Blackbeard's and going to Pirate Keck as he's looking for prints of old hag titties. I mean, that just sticks out to me. That's just hilarious.
Yeah, Blackbeard's interlude's very funny.
Mm-hmm. But Lancer Artoria, like, I know I've told the story before, but guess what? I'm telling it again. Lancer Artoria's is she's kind of standoffish and distant to you, so, you go into her dreams and you confront her about this. She's like, no, I'm just a servant. And you have fucking Romulus being all like, tell her you love her, and you're just like, I love her. And Lancer Artoria's like, I can't handle this right now. I am blushing so much. And Romulus is like, this too is Rome. I'm like, this is the best.
Weird interludes are the best. Like, I'm just reminded of, I'm scrolling through a list of them now, like, there's so many weird, funny ones. Charles Babbage's is so weird. Iron Mobile Report Babbage, I remember Suzuka's being pretty weird.
Like I said, it's like I said, I haven't done anything like, God, I got like so many.
Oh, actually, another one that's really funny that I remember, Chloe's interlude.
Oh God, why?
Where she's just like, I must have kissed cute girls! And you're like, really? Okay. Have fun. And then it goes horribly.
Like, honestly, like this
Chloe's
is like the same reason.
No, my hubris.
This is why I thought Parvati's was great, especially because, like I said, it's like it's all jokes. It's all jokes the entire time with a hint of seriousness, which I think is probably the best one. Jokes or deeper lore. The fact that, like, in the end of Parvati's, the fact that it's Bunyan, actually, it was Bunyan, Santa Altar, Jack, the usual trio, going around eliminating, and then Kama is part of the pack as well, also eliminating, and Parvati's just like, wait a fucking minute.
This is not okay. Hold on.
And so, and like I said, it's just hilarious all the way down, and I think Parvati does just as much for Kama's character as it does for Parvati's character. Actually, did Kama get a rank up ever? Interlude ever? Did she get a quartz interlude?
She did. I believe she did. Yeah, later. It's definitely in one of those setups.
I'm excited for that. But yeah, no, it's just like the ones that are funny or romantic are usually the ones that stick out to me the most.
I remember wow, why the fuck does Nero Bright have 2 interludes in Fuyuki? That's nuts.
Probably punching shit.
Yeah. Emiya has some great interludes because it plays on his big brother / mom energy and also his experience. As a previous Fate protagonist, just laying on some wisdom from you. I remember Eric Bloodaxe's I actually remember being interesting because he's himself. and then you get to talk to his wife a little bit. Classic Berserker Lancelot's one was very funny, because, like, you go out for a picnic and you get attacked by wyverns and he's using shit like the chopsticks with his NP. It's great. But there are so many interludes, and unfortunately a lot of them are just jobber shit. Like, I want them to be cool, but they're not really. I'm scrolling. Sinas and Uralis were just, oh my god. Beowulf is really good. You fought Grendel. By the way, I may actually just be scrolling down a list of, like, all interludes for everybody. Pisces just came out, right?
Yes. Well, no, I don't think it was in the. It wasn't in this.
Okay, not just come out, but it came out like earlier this year. It was this year.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember it. I remember it being funny because you know me.
Yeah, it's the one where she keeps bossing you around, and then
yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, and then at the
end, remember
Eternal
Shame?
Yes, and then at the end, Zhang Yu was paying you for this. Yeah, I remember now. Yes, that's very funny. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Zhang Yu pays us unlimited QP he doesn't need because we need fucking QP to just do whatever Bison wants and be the obedient.
Honestly, I don't think it's a scam. Zhang Yu, can predict the fucking future. He knows exactly how this would end up.
He knows what's up.
Unfortunately, though, I'm going to axe this conversation here, and we're going to move on. So thank you very much. So, with that, this next one comes from Gilfest 2021 is almost upon us. Prepare your apples and wallets. Probably more well, actually, no, some people are probably animals and might spend golden apples on just more AP. They might. I don't know. But they say, afternoon or evening, whenever you're hosting this great mailbag. I was just wondering what your thoughts would be if FGO had an exchange map process like trading one snake eye for 2 evil bones, and the like. Would that break the game, or do you think it would at least ease farming? Just before I go, on Summer 4 Bunny Banner, I was rolling my last copy of Melt, got attacked by another bunny, which turned into a USO. Jesus. I did get Melt to MP5, I got too many bunnies in the process. Good luck on Gilfest, may you get great amount of mats. You got 5 bunnies before you got 5 melts? No, you got 6 bunnies!
Yeah, it happens.
Why? Oh, Vesper got 6 Musashis before he got Carmela, so I guess no, it's not as rare, but when are you guys gonna give me that luck?
I mean, I got 2 Musashi before I got a Carmela.
I guess that's true.
I mean, yeah, somebody talked about turning the other way around, turning bones into snake gems, bronze to silvers. I mean, honestly, the exchange rate would probably be better if it was downgraded, like if you could turn a gold mat into a silver mat, etc., because you need so many silver and bronze mats. I don't actually think that would be, like, broken. It would either be ineffectual, depending on what the exchange was, or it would probably just be really tedious.
And honestly, like, the amount of numbers you would need probably would not probably like it honestly would probably be like a 1 to 2, like, for each, and so you'd have to spend like a fair amount.
Like, even honestly, if it was like a 1, 2, 3, like a literal 1, 2, 3, like, 3 chains which are bronze turn into like 2 silver or 1 gold, or reverse. You can break 1 gold into like 3 bronze or whatever. That's still it's a lot.
Honestly, I think what I would like better is if you could disassemble mats into like a currency that you could use to exchange for other mats of various volumes. So instead of like actually like you saying, oh, I can change eyes into bones, I could exchange eyes into a point and then use those points to then spend on buying bones.
Yeah, that would be like if there was just a mat shop, and then you could just like sell old mats. That's another thing I think would be interesting, because I got so much extra shit of certain mats chilling in my thing forever.
Actually, I think basically casual might actually have, if you can just exchange mats into mana prisms, and then use mana prisms to buy mats.
If you could burn your mats.
Actually, I think that'd be really great, because like actually you can have more things to spend mana prism on, and then you wouldn't necessarily have to spend so much fucking time grinding. Jesus.
Yeah. Or if you would be doing it in daily quests to farm more MP.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Solutions can't necessarily take away time you'd be spending from the game, because that's not what the developers want. The developers want you to be spending a moderate amount of time in the game on a semi-regular basis. So anything that necessarily, will detract from your playing time is not something that they will so desire. They want you to have ease of access and comfortability while playing, but they do not by any means want you to play less.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of exchanging mats into MP and then using that MP to buy more mats. So I'm gonna give that the lucky stamp of approval. Just boom. So with that though, we move on. This next one comes from that one guy who was mad there was no American Singularity adaptation. Well, I mean, that's fair. Everyone has their thing, and America wasn't the worst.
Nodding.
Like I said, it had some very entertaining moments. But they say, question, the world seems to have two main parts, the reverse side of the world and the normal side. There's also some stuff in between, like the Wandering Sea, and apparently things live inside all this in void space, somehow. So, why did, the alien god bleach our layer before taking over instead of overlaying it? Heh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Joke there. Their layer on top of the world. Or just removing our layer altogether. Technically, they did just overlay it. They overwrote the texture of the world.
Yes, no, that is the thing. The alien god did destroy the old texture. That's why everything is bleached and fucked up.
Yes.
Because I believe the idea is you can only have one texture on the outside of the world. And that's stuff like Reality Marbles and the like is temporarily overlaying the texture, like temporarily putting a different world on top there. So to do that everywhere, it had to destroy the texture everywhere, because otherwise the counterforce would be like, hold on, that's not how things are. You stop that. Quit. Stop it. So basically it had to destroy the texture in order to replace it.
Yeah, so, and this is why I'm very curious to see how this is going to end, because just by beating this alien god will not necessarily bring back the texture that was. It's gone. So,
yeah, it may be possible for us to like self-correct after the alien god's not here, but we'll see how it works out. Time is weird.
Time is weird. And sometimes very beautiful. And sexy. God damn it. Anyway, thank you very much for that. We move on. This next one comes from the Eternal Storm, who says, hey guys, hope I'm not too late. Question, what servants do you think will be popular in this upcoming Gilfest? Thank you, and thank you both, and have a good weekend.
So, I will talk about a little bit of this later with the pregame, but there are actually some spreadsheets out there, like people trying to calculate the like most optimal runs, if you've got some servants with some decent high skill levels. And if you want to know exactly, you should check that out. But it's wider than you think.
There's still a lot of Scotty, though.
There's a lot of Scotty, but there's also some other units. People you should watch out for if you're trying to score friend points or if you are looking for supports. Writer Da Vinci will be popular. Surfmo will be very popular. There's some nodes where she can go crazy. Waver is always popular. Never gets a break. If you're doing arts comps, Tomo and Paracelsus are also very popular. Nero Bride's very, very common as well, because she is both support and a single target hitter. Good for killing bosses. So yeah, there are versions for everything. Like I have seen Buster comps for some nodes, arts comps for others, quick. So a lot of the classics. Merlin's, Drake's actually. I believe there is a double Drake strat for one of the nodes for like a high speed low drag. Like yeah, so it's a pretty wide area. Yeah, that's all I got on that.
Fortunately, I am not the person to talk about strats. I'm really not.
No, I don't even... unfortunately, the thing all the strats do ask for usually is they are calculated on the premise you have all those servants at 10, 10, 10, and I'm like, well, it's asking a lot.
Yeah.
Also, unfortunately, a lot of the arts comps are like, and so use Paracelsus Tomo, and I'm like, well, if I can find one support, unfortunately, and not find everybody smooth branding about Scotty. Once again, would like to reiterate, Scotty is not the end-all be-all. There are different team comps. Anyway, we're almost done. Let's keep trucking.
Let's keep trucking. So thank you very much for that. This next one comes from the Tyrant King.
Sorry.
The next one, the Tyrant King revived by our new time gods and is now attempting to woo her. Good luck, buddy. I will appreciate her from afar.
But time keeps on slipping.
It also keeps on ticking. Question. Hey guys, how's it going? My question is, since the JP summer trailer dropped, what?
No, read the whole thing. I read this, it's funny.
Hey guys, how's it going? My question is, since JP summer trailer dropped, which servant are you hyped for the most? If the trailer has not dropped, disregard this question. That's not how this works, buddy. But instead, which of the new interludes did you like the most this patch? My personal famous is the Parvati and Ishtar ones. Have a good evening and happy belated spawn day, Lucky.
Yeah, so this was from one of our listeners. I'll call him out. He likes to call shots. This is a full-blown missed situation.
Missed. Mm-hmm.
But it's very funny.
Yes, I am entertained.
To answer your question about interludes, like I said, I didn't realize until this interlude campaign happened, but I do need to stick Parvati in a back row so she can get more bonds. I got a lot of new servants over the past, 6 months. Not all of them are Bond 5 yet. I can only Bond farm one at a time, guys. I need 4 slots to 3-turn farm. So I haven't done that one yet myself. Lucky will probably take that one because he talked about how much he liked it earlier. But I do actually like the Ishtar one. It's funny. I know some people are harsh on Ishtar for a lot of reasons that are fake news, and I reject them. But this one's actually kind of funny because Ishtar's like, I wanted to create a world where I win. Oh, I didn't win, but at least I got to do a funny thing where I made Enkidu wear the tablet. Haha. It's cool.
Brennan influence has been a positive thing for Ishtar. Oh yeah, this was the thing when you were talking about. I remember now. I remember you were talking about how Ishtar literally cried after the gods flooded the world and whatnot. I remember.
Yes, people were still sassy to Ishtar when her new interlude came out, and I'm just like, and then I actually had the time to play it, and I'm like, this is what you guys were sassy about? Y'all are simps, not for Ishtar, but for Gil. You're Gil simps. I mean, yeah, no, she is bratty. That's canon. But Rin's also, I mean, what you expect? Rin is the classic tsundere. You can only be a class S if you have the twin tails.
But no, yes, I'm gonna say my favorite is the Friday one for, just good jokes and more combat action. So, with that though, let's move on. The next one comes from Agent 418 who says, hello, Salutorian, double space Omega, and All-Star Student Lucky. Yes, All-Star Lucky.
Hey now.
I'm an All-Star.
Get your game on, go play. Wow, I do not know what is it with us tonight. Damn.
It's the meme video. It was all
it is. Hey. We are just music memes tonight.
Nope. I had to stop myself. I stopped myself. With the back to school campaign for NA, what servants would be the teachers or staff for a school? P.S. Hope everyone had a chill weekend. Shisho would be a teacher. She'd be a PE teacher. Everyone would die. The end.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've answered this question by proxy so many times. Everybody asks, like, what servant would you want to learn a thing from? What servant would teach you? The teachers. I could see either science teacher. Actually, no. Da Vinci is that one teacher who, because we only have the budget to hire one actress, she's in every fucking class. It's that or Principal Da Vinci.
Headmaster Da Vinci.
Yes. Just like that one CE I like, the School of Athens-based one, because I'm a sucker for the classics. Yeah, Benny I know would teach home ec, but yeah, it's the teachers. Benny literally teaches a cooking class. That's not even anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, Osakabe Hime is a student, but she doesn't go to class. She hides in the library all day. Lady Murasaki is the school librarian.
I'm about to say that. It's like, no, I mean, she literally just shows up to Cal Day one day. It's like, yeah, I'm your librarian now. We're just like, okay.
They literally gave her a special variant on territory creation to just be, she makes libraries. Libraries appear near her.
I don't know if Karen could be the nurse, because that's more of a Prisma joke than anything.
Also, I remember that. Any fucking sense. Anyway, no, I'm the author of Prisma literally says the timelines don't line up, so it's fine. It's completely fine. But also, it's not fine because Karen's like a year younger than it. Like, she's Sakura's age, guys. I don't know. I don't even know. What the fuck? What is happening? By the way, Jaguar Man would be a teacher. She would be awful at it still.
What does Taiga teach?
Is it English? Is she an English teacher? It is English.
It is English.
Yes. Boom.
Yeah, because she's the English teacher and the supervisor for the archery club.
Yeah, she's a lot of teachers do. Supervisor.
Well, a lot of teachers have a homeroom, but it's like, oh god, I was just thinking about that.
Do schools teach shop still?
I feel like they did. I feel
that was a real thing, but do they still do that? If they don't, they should. But anyway, that's a different question. Yes,
Kets will be your Spanish teacher.
How to say I love teacher. Kets is also one of those teachers who's like, don't call me miss, call me Nason, call me sis. Yes, an advisor to the wrestling club, wrestling team coach. Wrestling's a high school.
I know people have I know people have their own ideas, but I can't have the school nurse be anyone but Nightingale. I can't.
Yeah, Boudica the lunch lady.
Mm-hmm. Gives you big helpings.
Blackbeard the janitor.
He will be a janitor.
He's the mysterious old pirate janitor.
Always suspiciously near the girls' locker room for some odd reason.
I mean, it's that or Moriarty. Like, Moriarty undercover.
No, Moriarty be the math teacher.
It's true, he would be the math professor. Professor of mathematics. His class is the really, really fucking hard one.
Oh, let's see here.
And we all know the characters who aren't staff, but would be students. You've got the delinquent squad. So many of them. Raiko is clearly the vice president, the vice principal, who thinks she's, like, on the student council, but she's not.
Who would be student council president, though? I want to say John.
Probably. It would probably be John.
Yeah, John, she has a delinquent sister.
Yes. Perfect. And I feel like somehow, like MASH would be, like the student council, like, secretary, like, taking the notes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, then we'd have our Gouda Gouda delinquent group. We'd have our Celtic delinquent group.
Yes, constantly on the run from Teacher Skahak, throwing spears at them in the hallway. The night of the round are clearly a club, like they're one of those fake ass clubs they made up, but they have a room.
Oh, yeah, they're the chivalry club.
Yes, they have a room, and their faculty advisor is Merlin. What's his faculty position? Nobody knows. That's dangerous. Merlin is your guidance counselor.
No.
His guidance, pull this sword out of this rock. Ouch.
That's how that would go.
Yeah. That was me, by the way, bonking my thumb into the springs of my mic arm.
Be a good science teacher. I want to say Paracelsus or Babbage.
Paracelsus would definitely be Kim. Well, I mean, actually, that is a good question. The guidance counselor is not your therapist, though.
Yeah, no,
necessarily.
No,
Kiara would be the school counselor. But you would have to be careful depending on what day it was. Because on the one hand, yes, Kiara's actually really good at therapy. On the other hand, danger.
Danger.
Hans teaches creative writing, and Shakespeare obviously is the drama teacher. So much drama. I don't know what class like electrical stuff would go under, but that should be dual teachers, dual professorships between Tesla and Edison, who are constantly fighting.
But the joke is neither one have actually hired. They just refuse to give up. No, do not. No, that's a horrible idea.
Edison teaches you business classes. No, we tried that for a week. It didn't work.
It didn't work. Do you know how many lawsuits we got?
He turned the class into a sweatshop.
Oh my god. Okay, but we've been spending way too much time on this.
It's a funny idea, but as you see, a lot of people have worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Duck in Toki, he has an axe.
Yeah.
He would teach you woodshop and also be the teacher they instructed for driver's ed.
He probably makes really cool wooden bears.
They tried to get Carmilla to teach driver's ed, but that was a bad idea.
Alright, where was I? I was lost. Here we are.
I believe we got three left, so whichever one is third from the bottom.
Here we are. Okay, I got it. So we move on. Thank you very much for that. The next one comes from I Am the Bushin. Hoken be my name. I don't know what that's from. Is that from something? That's not from something.
It's definitely from something.
But they say, what do you think is the current trend of power creep in Servants in JP? At this point, I can see them having everything loop, like ever 10 stars you earn after refunds 10 NP, so that they're actually an incentive to go beyond 50 stars. Like if you have 70, you can get 70 NP charged back to a servant. Thoughts?
Be gone. Man. Like, some of it's power creep. They're having a breakdown in the chat now. If you want to figure out this mystery, you could go read along with us, patrons. You have access to the same thing we do. You literally know what question it was, because Lucky read out the alias. Anyway, you deal with your own hoops problems. So the power creep question, right? Some of it is power creep, but also some of it's just shit that servants have been able to do forever. Like,
well, I don't think it's necessarily a power creep.
Like Scotty's been in since what, like your anniversary 3?
Yeah.
And since then, Scotty looping has been a thing with certain servants. So I think it's just like, it's not power creep, right? If the condition was invented like 3 years ago and they're just catching up different styles of play, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I don't think it's necessarily power creep. I think they're just balancing out the player field so strategies isn't so dependent on just one thing working in particular. Like last year, they worked really hard on making a lot of art strats work, with Castoria and like various other things. And this year, they seem to be doing the same thing with Buster. Like a lot of interludes, like seem to be like upping, like, Buster effects and doing things. So I don't think necessarily they're increasing power creep. It's just they're making servants more consistent and leveling out the damage overall.
Yeah, because like it used to be that arts wasn't really a spammy playstyle. It was a grindy playstyle. If you played arts in year 1, it was
John Tolomo.
John Tolomo, and then you just You didn't even offensively NP. You just didn't die and punched the enemy until they went away. And because break bars didn't exist, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually we got like a solution to that became like, oh, you could throw like one of the Shikis at that problem, right?
Right.
If you could get her because she was story locked, regular Nero could be useful for that because she had an AoE arts NP and had a lot of. She's always had her triple guts, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so like this is a question like we talk about with like not that I want to make everything about this, but because I'm doing the progression tournament series, I see this a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh! We're literally progressing through the years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of the most broke-ass cards we're constantly rotating in and out of our internal ban list are from like the first 2 years of the game. Because the game was simpler back then, and sometimes that leads you to Ungus Bungus strats. I believe you can get Berserker Lancelot on... He's a tutorial role servant, right? You can get him on your first roll. He can literally be your first SR. He's still fucking stupid good and essential for certain, cheap comps. Herc, yeah. Herc's another... I mean, they've done more to keep Herc relevant because they know a lot of people got him because he was in the tutorial pool, but, like, Herc has always been an easy moto servant, especially in NA because he had his Bond CE right away with those extra guts, right? Like, That was such a power strat. I saw so many people on my friends list are straight up used to be Berserker was Herc with Bond CE. I still see that sometimes. When the game was simplistic, some servants were just good. They were useful. Then as the game design got more complex, Delightworks was able to stretch their creative muscles. They were able to come up with more complex enemies for you to fight, which in turn requires more complex solutions and playable units. They come up with new stuff. So many brand new conditions have been added. So many other multipliers have been added. And I do believe that, yeah, as people in the chat, and I think Lucky said this earlier as well, consistency is what we're going for. We are trying to make different playstyles and different card types more consistent so that you don't need to rely on units you can do. We literally just talked about this earlier when we talked about Miyu's buff, right? Like, Miyu got rid of her demerit because when Miyu first came out, like, 2 fucking years ago for JP, or even longer, was it like 3? When the fuck was the Prisma rerun? I think it was like 3. Was that earlier this year for us? I think it was early this year, yeah. It's been like nearly over 2 years. It was a long-ass time. But when she first came out, this was pre-Castoria, obviously pre-units like Vich and Oberon who are really bringing Buster back. So, like, the idea was clearly like, okay, we want Miyu to be cool. She should be a support for various lore reasons. We don't really want her to outshine Merlin as a support. We'll give her a demerit. And then now later they're like, oh, well, nobody uses her then. The demerit is too much, so we'll just remove it so people actually use her, and that gives her more flexibility, It's why is Waver still relevant on every fucking support setup? Well, it's because he's card agnostic. He's just battery and just increases damage and defense and crit. So there's never not a reason to consider using him, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's power creep. I think it's just, I think there may be some power creep. Scotty probably was, if not a power creep, a conscious decision to be okay, we're gonna let people exploit the mechanics and we're gonna make looping possible. And then, since that happened, they were alright, well, this shouldn't be exclusive to one unit, right? Well, that is correct, Legendary Ball Thunder. People are animals and will never be satisfied. Tune in for What's Up for much yelling about this. Oh, so much yelling. People are so unsatisfied with everything all the time. Or at least vocal thing. She amps in P game, but also she has 50% batteries, yeah. But also when they did that was the year they were fuck it, it doesn't actually matter. Artoria can make all her guards Buster, so you can always Buster Chain. And Emiya can actually switch what his NP type is. Now he can have the Arts NP he always wanted. At least once, because clearly when they first made the game, they thought that at a 10-hit Arts NP or whatever would be too OP. But now that we're later in the game, they realized, oh, that wouldn't actually be that broken. We can make that work. So, yeah, it's... I do think some of these choices were probably power creep. I think some of it is... Remember we talked about either last week or 2 weeks ago, Delightworks has an algorithm for this, right? They have a system where they design, they base how units perform mechanically based on their structures, right?
Right.
So this means that servants who are OP, which is most servants, have higher stats and better performance. I suspect that Delightworks has just released servants who are in lore supposed to be really, really fucking strong, and then that creates really, really strong units. And if it doesn't create strong units, then they give them buffs to be like, wait, this servant is supposed to be a huge badass. We have to tune their kits to make them perform up to their level. Also, Castoria does have access to 50% total battery, I think. But yeah, she's got an NP gain up as well. But yeah, no, like, it's some of it I think is power creeping. Some of it I think is just that, seriously, Fate has always been about being fucking OP. Don't do that, Tim. Yeah, it's my thoughts.
I don't have anything else to necessarily add about that. So we'll move on. Thank you very much. Oh, got two more. Here we go. So this next one comes from... God damn it. This next one comes from Deburudo to Keiseshu. I'm assuming this probably translates to Dave the Savior. Well, not really. No, if this is going to be Dave, it'd just be like Debu or something. Deburudo? I don't know. Too much. Whatever. Well, I tried to leave a they say, I tried to leave a question, but couldn't think of how to word it in a way that didn't seem awkward, even typing this turned into a struggle, so just well wishes this week. Well, it is what it is, but thank you very much. And for the last one. This last one comes from Sakura Fan 07. On the Road to Manhattan, not as catchy as a Pokemon song. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope you guys are doing well. With the advent of Gilfest 2, here's this week's question. Besides Nero and Gil, what servant would you see run a tournament-type event? I'm kind of surprised that as a teacher of various heroes, especially Ku Kalain, you would think that Skahoksen, say, would be the type of hero to run a tournament to gauge the strength of the servants we met in Arcaldea. Isn't that what Skahaka?
Yes! There's a future one for that. Spoilers. I guess this person has not been engaging in our clairvoyance. Yeah, no, there's literally a Skahok Fest next year, I believe.
Yes.
Or is it 2 years? No, I think it's next year.
I'm pretty sure it's next year, yeah, because that's when we get Bunny Suit Skahok. Omega, I hope the progression tournament continues to be fun for you, and luckily, hopefully your scooter is fixed by the time you read this, and you don't have to be Coin Sky to fix your scooter. Stay safe, stay well, stay awesome for Saber Wars 2, and Space starring Calamity J, as well as the Wild West Adventure and Space Awaits. You two are freaking awesome.
No,
well, thank you very much. Like I said, aside from Skahok, yes, so Skahok we have Skahok Fest. There was jokes about it being called Scat Fest, and we slapped them.
No, Skafez.
Skafez. Mm-hmm. But anyone else? Oh, man.
Did they do... They haven't done one yet this year, obviously, other than they did Nearfest rerun. What did they do last year? Was it just Skafez rerun?
No, I don't think it was.
I can't remember. You'd think I could remember an event they've done every year for 6 years, but time-space. Okay, so wait, Skafez is... Oh, actually, yeah, I guess that makes sense. That would be next year, and then they haven't done the one for the next year yet, because it's late fall.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Time-space.
Last year was...
It's very blurry. And the timing is really weird, right? Like, because sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. Like, for instance, we are about to experience Battle in New York 2021, which was Battle in New York 2019 for JP, which is slightly different. We'll talk about that in a second, because this is our last question. That's our next step. Like, for instance, JP is about to do their summer, which is really late this year. So, timing is really weird.
But honestly, I can see a lot of servants. Like, honestly, you wouldn't necessarily think that Gil would have a Fez, but, you know, it's just someone who either has... Honestly, it's not necessarily someone who's, like, a tournament. It's just someone who has a lot of money and time on their hands. Which,
yeah.
You know, Nero, check. Gil, check. Skahok, I'm kind of curious to see what they have reason for that. But other than that, man, I think I've said this before. I'd be down for an Ozfest.
Yeah, I think Ozfest would be pretty fun. Do one that's Egypt themed.
Mm-hmm.
I also do actually, because that was explicitly a Nerofest rerun. That was almost assuredly like to give us an excuse for more events and lottos. If they're not like fucking melted, which I suspect they won't be. I don't even know how much like a story focused Skafez did. Also, Nerofests don't usually have much story. There's like three nodes of story in Battle for New York this year, not counting the 3 from last year. Because it's weird. I'll talk about that a little in the pregame. So like it's not like there's a lot of writing effort to do this. It's mostly just doing like picking units and scripting lines and stuff.
I wouldn't mind, like, if we're going for things, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a BB Fest.
Yeah,
I think
BB Fest with like the slots would be very funny. I think we've mentioned that one before. BB could come back as a shop.
Mm-hmm.
That would also be not that they usually do brand new units of this, but this would be a great excuse to introduce like Violet and Cosmor drop, because they're still not in. Dynamites, come on, help brother out. Another one I think, like talking about like right? Like, I think a funny play on that, similar to how a lot of people joke that this one is Ishtar Fez. Spoilers, Ishtar's going to take over the banner when it starts. I think Maeve Fest would be funny. Like it starts as Skahak Fest, and then Maeve is like, nah, fuck you, slap. Just shove Skahak out of the way. That would be very funny. Also, might be an excuse to give Maeve the new costume that was shown in the Lost Belt. Please. Holy shit, that art, good. Guys. Maeve thighs.
It was good. Thighs.
Hashtag Maeve thighs.
Mm-hmm. Crush me between them.
Hashtag Maeve thighs end lives. You know this to be true. A Resh Fest would be funny. I think I would like Summer Resh first, but a Resh Fest could be interesting. That would also be an excuse to give me a Resh's hood costume, you cowards, you moral cowards. We don't actually know if there's going to be a good, necessarily wears whatever. We got a lot of stuff. There's plenty of room in the months, because summer will be a couple of weeks. We'll see what they do. Mothfest could be funny, yeah. I feel like that guy's not shown enough. He could run a tournament. Mm-hmm. Who is the most perfect?
It's me!
Yeah, he's the final boss. You punch him for the grail. I was the most perfect the whole time. Bye. So yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting options.
But yeah, no, like, honestly, out of just out of me, I was like, I would like a Tamamo Fest, a Tama Fest. I think that'd be great.
That would be another fun thematic switch. You know, you thought it was Nero Fest, but it was Tamamo.
It's probably literally because Tamamo got sick of Nero getting all this attention, decided to hijack something, and maybe we get a Tamamo costume.
Also, I do want to throw out, we know Tamamo has a gnarly sense of style because I have played Extella. Where Tamamo's sense of decoration is, what if there were just statues of my legs everywhere?
Just Tamamo thighs everywhere. It's a literal. I think you. Well, if you saw the last when I played Extella. Did I play Extella Link? I played Extella Link.
Yeah.
There was, I think I did several times just run through a room where there's just Tama thighs everywhere. I'm just like, oh my.
I do also believe that her home base was Mare Luxuria, the Sea of Lust. Not Nero's, by the way. Tamo's.
Listen. Tamo's thirsty as fuck. Not like in the same way Nero is.
Nero's. It's different, right? Nero has kind of like this narcissistic, like, why, yes, of course I wrestle lions naked. Praetor, would you like to see me wrestle a naked lion? And you're just like, roll that back to me? What was that?
And then she just keeps on, would you like me to wrestle you? And you're just like, I don't want to say no to this plan, but I'm also concerned.
Shall we in the bath?
Tamamo is much more, is the one who's going to, give you the, the nice dinner, give you, like, have a nice bath, and then completely jump you in bed.
Yeah, when you play the Tamamo route, you're literally, like, in the master's quarters of the castle, right? And you're the only people you ever see are Tamamo and then your maid, Liz. Nero does start a lot of conversations that way. She's just, like, casual thoughts with Nero. Okay, but I think we've delved this question.
Mm-hmm. But with that is all of them. So everyone, thank you very much for your submissions.
Yep. It was a cool, sweet 25. So, we're gonna move into the second half. Let me check the mission clock. 2.5 hours. Let's take a brief intermission. Some of these people have been listening to us for like 2.5 hours. They should probably get up and walk around.
I should get up and walk around.
I do think I need to stretch some of my leg muscles too, yes. Intermission! Nice. I've returned to you from the land of hydration. I just thought of the sting, the bottle sting from a land down under. God, we're in this hole. I gotta get out of this place. Which is another song reference. Anyway, are you all ready for the shortest pregame ever? AKA the Battle in New York 2021 pregame? I think I went too high-pitched there. Pre-game?
Yeah, no, you kind of broke.
Question mark?
Pre-game? Question mark? I don't know. I'm trying to keep my voice low today, so
yeah. I literally wrote it that way, and I'm like, I'm gonna say it that way when it comes out. Axe, read the fucking spreadsheet. He's like, you got any tips? I'm like, yeah, there's a thing for that. People have been praising it all day. I looked at it. I'm shocked by its diversity. But anyway, we'll get there. That's towards the end. We have a couple of basic stuff to come up. I'm not kidding though. This is literally like the fucking shortest. It's half a page. Because we're not doing a deep dive. Structurally, this event is like basically every other Lotto Fest event we've ever had. which, hey, if you've only just started playing this year, you might not know, but they're pretty basic to understand, so we're going to run them through. It's roughly similar to the last one, but as usual, the CEs, the shop, and the exact battles are slightly different. The spreadsheet is pinned in our Discord. Spoilers for, 4 bullet points for now. So it's slightly different, and also the fact that the CEs are different always kills us every fucking year. Can I get some repeat CEs? The Lotto CE's just Nero, a picture of Nero or Nero Bride with guts. It's the same fucking thing every year. Just let me reuse the old ones. Anyway, I make a dismissive gesture. So there will be a new round of story quests in this. I do believe you will also either have to or can, I think it's optional. You can do the story quests from last year, which, by the way, if you missed last year's Grail because you had to win a boss fight to get it, you can get it back. It is kind of sort of rerun. And if you already got it, you can get a lore. But separate from that, there's a new round of story quests. One of them will include a weird punch-up with Archer Gil and many, many break bars. You only need to break 2. And then the final boss for the Grail is that it is, quote-unquote, Space Ishtar. But not that Space Ishtar yet. It's normal Ishtar, who's an archer, right? But after her first break bar, she becomes an avenger. So watch out for that. And that's for the Grail, so that's kind of an important thing to know. So, this is a lotto thing. You have a lotto. You'll farm currency. You'll spend it to open lotto boxes, all that stuff. If you're new to this. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory. So much currency opens you so many pulls. You cannot move on to new boxes until you get the grand prize. The bulk content of the lotto box is what you're really after. It includes mostly skill gems. Oh, so many skill gems. All kinds of skill gems. It will include EXPs as well, MP, and mats such as snake gems, hero proofs, chains, and horseshoes. It also includes diamonds, which are the primo currency. You can exchange these for command codes, including last year's if you missed them. Not if you got them already, but if you didn't get them last year, you can buy them again. This is why, by the way, this is so weird. Like, this event is like a rerun, but also not a rerun. It blows my mind. Like, none of your old shit counts, but if you missed last year's shit, you can get it again. What the fuck is happening here? But also, the first 5 lotto boxes will net you the grand prize of yet another crappy Nero Gut CE. This one comes with, 300 damage cut. You can get a crystallized lore and also some gold foes. Everybody loves gold foes. And after you complete the grand prize, the first 10 grand prizes, you can loop lotto boxes forever. So if you've never done this before, this is what we're talking about when we talk about 20 boxes, 50 boxes, 100 boxes, whatever. Is after you get the grand prize, you can just keep opening those boxes and skipping to the end to get more currency, more stuff. The shop, because there are shop drops, will include regular-ass foes, steaks, bones, lanterns, medals, seeds, roots, scarabs, cores! Love cores. Horns, and also Archer, Raider, Assassin statues. And 4 copies of the Lotto Currency CE. Yes, the 5th one is a drop. Why they still do this, I don't know. Also, once again, this is the CE that's actually worth something. It's got a super cute Ishtar on it, and it's 10% arts and buster up, you know? It's actually a good CE, but if you want to MLB, you better get lucky.
No, don't actually get me, though.
But yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah, you want those CEs so you can do the thing. So the tournament quests, the actual, free quests, are mostly monoclass. Some are monoclass using Berserkers. But there are some occasional weird ones. They will tack on, which I don't think I spelled right in my notes, but I said it right, tack on additional enemies in the boss wave who are completely different classes. Sometimes extra classes, so plan accordingly. You may be minding your own business, and then suddenly you've been minding your own business, you've been fighting Berserkers for, 2 waves in a row, and then suddenly the boss wave is, a Lancer and an Avenger. And you're like, what? So, yeah, not much you can do about that. Luckily, a lot of the higher difficulty ones, especially once you get to the finales, are all monoclass. I believe the highest AP last node that's unlocked is monoclass Archer. Or, not Archer, monoclass Saber. So you can take Archers. Don't think I won't be doing that. I'll be doing it crazy. So you should have some different things. And this is what I've alluded to many times. There is a spreadsheet floating around out there. There's a whole website thing for this. This link is pinned in our Discord. Join our Discord. Go to the Let's Talk FGO channel to find it in the pinned messages. It includes the highest speed, lowest drag team comps, and as I mentioned earlier, shocker, they are not all double Scotty. Like I said, there are arts comps for certain nodes because the classes work out. People trying to make Rider Da Vinci or Surf Mordred. Some are Mordred work. Some of them are 5 units, some of them are 4 units, etc. You can make it all figure out. Some are like Chengong sacrifice play shit. Others are Buster. Like I said, I saw like a double Drake setup, for instance. So there's a lot of flexibility. Yes, there are still some double Scotty comps, but I don't know if it's either just because of the way the classes are distributed, or if this year people made a deliberate effort to be like, okay, well, what if you don't have a Scotty? Because, I don't know, maybe you weren't playing the game when she came out, etc. So, yeah, keep that eye out. There's 2 sets of CQs as usual for this kind of thing, where it's a rerun, but it's not a rerun. So, that's interesting. I shudder to contemplate them. Each year is more bonkers than the last. I'm fairly certain I would literally be here for another hour explaining them, some of them, by the way. I shit you not. Like, I skimmed them. Some of them have, like, pages of fucking notes explaining the mechanics. It is bonkers. You are on your own, motherfuckers. I would need a whole nother fucking show to explain some of this shit. Like, one of the challenge quests is you are forced to take Saber Liz, and you have to fight wave of trash mobs, and, like, you have to beat them in so many turns to get buffs, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening? What does this mean? This is just, when they do, like, exhibition quests, Delightworks just go apeshit, and it's cool to see, but also it's such a pain in the ass to both explain and play, so just get ready for that bullshit. If you complete the exhibition quest, you get some mats, and you do get some tickets. It's 1 ticket per quest, so it's pretty important. By the way, yeah, I have a bottle of water, that's why I'm taking long pauses, which you may or may not hear in the final edit. I'm pausing because I'm taking drinks of water because it's fucking hot in here. But my last couple points, the summon banner will be Gil, Gorgon, and Jagraman with event CEs that boost drops. There is a CE of Siduri, so I will probably be rolling some FP, gotcha? Because she is the 3-star. Also, spoilers, I believe Deersmith is our shopkeeper today. It's great.
Is he?
Yeah, he just Golden Sheep Boys, just hanging out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember this.
It's fucking sick. And yeah, that's basically the shortest pregame ever. It's a Lotto event. Go nuts. Like, I could try and brief you on the exact nature of the quests, but there's like 4 different tiers every set. They rotate every couple of days. You go to the next one. You'll find your rhythm, whatever that is, and you'll farm for Lottos, and you'll spend Lotto currency. It's really easy. Just do remember to get your grails. You have to actually complete those story quests with the bosses. Hopefully those aren't too hard for you. And like I said, if you want to do exhibition quests, you gotta do your own experimentation and research. At this point, it's not even like I don't like to do them. It's like some of them are so fucking complex. It's hard to explain. I cannot imagine people who don't read Japanese trying to do this on JP like 2 years ago. Holy shit.
I mean, they probably just waited for someone to come out with a strat or a guide or just, beat their head against a brick wall until it worked.
Yeah, I know, but like just the wait time on like, what the fuck is happening? How does this work? Yeah, no, it's nuts. And that's the pregame. Like I said, I don't know if it. Hopefully that's sufficient, but this is very similar to the last one. Other than those complaints I have that I don't think they'll ever fix. It's about the fact that there's not a Fissy in the shop, and the fact that every year they give me the same shitty CE. Like, listen, the art's cool, but I've got a lot of them, and all of them are just one-time guts for 1 HP. What the fuck? I don't even think they're stackable guts yet. Come on. Be a little adventurous. I know it's a theme, but you can do better. But that concludes our pregame, our pregame. So to wrap up, because this is the last show of the month, we are doing Fanservant Friday on time for fucking once. It helps that while this show did have a lot of news and had a very loosey-goosey mailbag, it was also only 25 mailbag entries, so we're not here for like 4 hours already. God forbid if this was like a story release or something, then it would be fucked. This episode would be 4 hours long already. But it's not, so hey, we're here. So, this week, or this year's theme... Wow, I'm just all over the place on time. Fuck me. This is why it's a good thing that this episode isn't 4 hours long. I would not be able to speak long enough to type all this. My theme for this month, because Fanservant Friday polls are monthly, and if you're curious why it's called Friday, it's because we recorded on a Friday, and it makes a cool acronym. It's very cool to say. But the theme for this month was swords. So out of our swords choice, the people voted on Kreimheild as the Avenger. Though I did not notice until recently when I double-checked that Shisher almost snuck up there. 38 versus 31%. Still no love for Sir Dagonet. But here we are. So, we're going to talk about the Kreimheild. For those of you who don't know, you may actually, though, but Kreimheild is Siegfried's wife. as in specifically the spelling used in the Nibelungenlied, and may actually be related to a historical figure of various kinds, but it's a little loosey-goosey. Kreimheild is an avenger because in the Germanic version where Siegfried is from, it's a little bit different than the classic Volsunga saga that Sigurd and Brynhild are from, right?
Yes.
There are different ethics involved, different story settings. So Siegfried is mostly just a cool guy who's super great and gets stabbed in the back because his friends are assholes. Also, there's some cursed
and then
gold
leave.
Involved. Yeah. There's some cursed gold involved. They get really jelly, and Siegfried is really kind of just like a pure and good boy who does goo. Well, so Kreimheild takes this personally.
Yeah, she did.
And
Jesus.
in the Nibelungenlied, in the original operas and stuff, the whole third act is basically her elaborate revenge plan, which is basically Count of Monte Cristo tier. So this is why she is an Avenger. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, in this version of the story, there's a whole act, a whole arc of the story is about Kreimheild figures out that Siegfried's been murdered and thrown in a ditch somewhere, and she is, like, ready to rock and roll. It's time for revenge. She is the queen of revenge. She's here to party. And how she arranges this party is that she arranges to be married to a figure called Etzel. King Etzel of the Huns. Guess who this is? It's literally fucking Attila. Which, by the way, that's also acknowledged. I do believe there is a Myrim line between Siegfried and Altera. But also, it's very funny for fate. So, yeah, Kriemhild ends up married to Altera. Only briefly, though, because the wedding, you know, you all heard about the red wedding? It's fucking cheap-ass, it's fake, it's a copy of this shit. Because Kreimheild invites all her enemies to her wedding, locks them in the building, and sets it on fire. Yeah, she's pretty hardcore.
I feel like she and Nitocris get along slightly.
Yes. Now, Kreimheild does die in this altercation. She is killed by one of the... After making sure that Siegfried's murderers are yeeted, in some tellings, with his sword. She's got the sword back, so she stabs with it. She is killed by one of the knights because, unfortunately, to get her revenge, she does break one of those sacred rules of hospitality. You're not really supposed to invite your guests into your house and then set them on fire and stab them with swords. Not even for revenge because they're murderers. They're murder hobos. But yeah, so that was the basis of this character. Kind of surprised they haven't done this yet, but I know that there's been a lot of focus on Brynn and Sigurd, and I think she would be a fun Avenger. As an Avenger,
she's mentioned.
Yep, good.
I'm about to say she is mentioned occasionally, and like when in reference to Siegfried and whatnot. Like, he mentions her in his interlude, and I believe he also Siegfried mentioned her when in the quiz event in summer. So
yeah,
maybe one day
they make sure to mention her, but she's not yet made an appearance. I think it would be pretty cool to, like, contrast. Well, yeah, sacred hospitality is a big deal, right? Like, this is a thing that happens in a lot in revenge narratives where, like, revenge is a very weird concept. Like, the Greeks, for instance, had a goddess of revenge, Nemesis, literally the origin of that word. Like, the idea that sometimes there was a force, a karma to, like, a cosmic energy behind revenge and getting your just desserts. But also, you have to take revenge in the right way. Narratives like to frame this. Like, taking revenge by, like, heroically storming a dude's castle and challenging him to single combat. Okay. I mean, yeah, there's about a billion tellings of the thing acts. Don't go into... You don't have to... We're not here to fight over the details. This is Fanservant Friday. This is generalist. If we did deep dives for some of these characters, we would be here forever. That would be a different video series. But yeah, like, it's... And I would say that this is one of those great, like, postmodern things or, like, modern interpretation things. The original text of the Nibelungenlied is not kind to Kreimheild. She is often referred to with the epithet, I think I'm gonna guess the pronunciation is, like, Valendin. Like, literally calling her, like, a female devil, a fiendess, a fiend, like, because of her elaborate revenge plans, and everything, like, they paint her as kind of a bad person. But to us, it's like, yeah, but that guy stabbed Siegfried like a bitch. It was bad. We hate him. But, you know, it's back in the day, it's, talking about those sacred rules. You don't break certain trusts and certain hospitalities because then all the rules are off.
I mean, you can't. It's not a direct parallel, but like I kind of think of Medea in this. By all rights and means, Medea should not have gotten away with what she did, but because the way that she played, the rules were played, and what happened before, she was just be like, no. It's like I'm just gonna kill all these people and just fly away.
Yeah, because Jason broke the rules first, and this is the tragedy of Medea is his karmic punishment for being kind of a scumbag at the end. Like it's all interesting in how this stuff shapes out. I do at least appreciate that in most tellings, Kreimheild at least gets the guy. She gets Siegfried's murderer. It's just that then in turn, she gets killed so that it's like the fucking Hays Code, right? Like if you do something evil, you don't get to live through the story.
Yeah.
It's wild. But yeah, so she's an Avenger, so she's chaotic evil. I kind of imagine her having like middling stats, like her strength's only like C, endurance B, because she does plan for a lot of years. Agility C, magic D, luck E. She's not very lucky, sadly. High level NP. Makes sense for an Avenger. Like she's like a princess, but not a warrior princess. Like especially I think Gudrun, her equivalent of the Volsung Saga, is not the same. But especially Kreimheild is not like she's not a fighter naturally. Has all those Avenger class skills: Oblivion, Creation, Avenger, Self-Replenishment, Mana. For personal skills, I figured Charisma C+. Kind of like, hey guys, in case you didn't know, because FGO's never given it to her, Mordred has Charisma C. So I gave Kreimheild a C+ as well. She was a princess and administrator, ran multiple kingdoms, because I believe she was like an heir to one kingdom, and then Siegfried was lord of another, and then their two houses came together. But also, she did organize an elaborate revenge plot, so her charisma is better when doing revenge. This would probably be left out of FGO because it's not interesting, but still, I think it fits her character. Also gave her clairvoyance B, ability to perceive distant objects and trajectories, but also limited future sight as possible. In a lot of tellings, especially movie versions like to do this, but even in the classics, there's a lot of ideas of her having glimpses of tragedy, destruction, and betrayal which lie in the future for her or her loved ones. Like, she gets premonitions that Siegfried's about to get murdered and that kind of stuff. So I figured, like, a low-level charisma, or low-level clairvoyance, low-level charisma kind of a thing. Pretty typical stuff. FGO would probably have to put, like, a special spin on these, but, something that works out. Then we get to the fun lore stuff. So, third skill listed here, Crest of Etzel B. Hey, so you know how Altera has those crests on her body? That are like her magic circuits? They give her the power to do, like, mana burst type stuff, star crests. Well, so, logically following this, right, there has to be some reason why in the narrative, in the history of Fate, Kreimheild partners up with Altera. It can't, on the one hand, Altera is like a fucking beast of a war machine, but in most tellings, Etzel doesn't really do anything other than just skedaddle out of there. He's like, oh no, my new wife is crazy, bye! Because as a historical domain character, a literal public domain character, you can't just off Attila the Hun. He has to go do history things. It's very funny. So, Crest of Etzel is dark markings in her skin, mirroring her contract with Etzel, Attila, king of the Huns, to seek revenge, and etc. So basically, I imagine that in her physical design, Kreimheild would have probably dark as opposed to Altera's whitish designs, like physical marks in her skin to represent the fact that she makes the contract with Etzel for power and receives this as a like external magic crest type ability. So, gives her abilities like mana burst, instinct, enhances her actions like military tactics, but does so at the cost of her life, spilling her blood a little bit because it's not native to her. Something like maybe like a self-burn or a self-curse for, maybe like bust her up, NP up, star drop, Pretty simple stuff. Just give her a big damagey boost. Damn. Avengers also love self-destructive skills.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, this would kind of explain like how, even though, as I said, she's not a fighter, she would be able to show up as a servant and boop some snoots pretty hard. The last skill is another fun anecdote. I called it Kreimheild's Festival, A rank. In many versions of the Nibelungen line and related tales, Kreimheild is called a fiend. She organizes mistrust and violence in her quest for revenge, causes bloody battles. I think, I believe is, what is the, I'm trying to remember, it was a while since I designed this. Where did the Kreimheild's Festival come around? Hold on. My Wikipedia source. Yeah, such lust for revenge. Yeah, so Kreimheild's festival is a medieval German analogy for a bloody battle, right? Like,
wow.
Yeah, like literally, they would joke that a bloody conflict, or not even joke, probably like an artistic illusion would be like, it was a Kreimheild's festival out there. It was a regular slobberknocker. And in some versions of the tale, yeah, it's not like she just closes the door and sets the tent on fire. Like, it's like full-blown, like, war of revenge type shit, right? So, basically, by her very presence, she can turn gatherings of humans into a bloody conflict. I imagine this would be like a taunt type thing. Like, draw a conflict onto herself, probably boost her own attack or something. It could even be like a scapegoat type thing, like maybe she can put target focus on somebody else. But I definitely think like a target focus type ability. And probably some other modifiers in there, maybe some crit strength up or something, amplify the team kind of a thing. Just like, yo, Kreimheild's here, it's time to have a war. Very classy Avenger type stuff. For Noble Phantasm, she would have 2. One is just the Das Rheingold. After Siegfried's death, she inherits the gold, legitimately. But it was hidden by Siegfried's murderers. She is able to get it back in most versions of the telling, but obviously it's fucking cursed-ass dragon gold, so it doesn't help her. It's basically like the equivalent of like a golden rule type thing, but with some curse effects. By the way, does this mean that perhaps the Einsburns are related to Kreimheild? Who knows? That could be an interesting cue for some visual design stuff. But her primary
redesign.
Her primary Noble Phantasm would be, I called it Balmung Valant, as in Fiend Balmung. I did a great pun, so what's Siegfried's original version called, the subtitle? It's pretty good. Let me pull it up. So the OG version is Phantasmal Greatsword Felling the Sky Demon. So I flipped that. Demonic Greatsword Felling the Earth Knight. This is an A- rank Noble Phantasm. Its rank has gone down. It's normally an A rank, so or A+, so it goes to A- in her hands. An anti-army / anti-hero Noble Phantasm. So it's Balmung.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. It just makes me think of Excalibur Morgan, just immediately.
I mean, yeah, it's basically like that. So it's just Balmung, right? It's Siegfried's greatsword. But that's explicitly noted because it is tied to these attributes that it could be a demonic sword or a holy sword. Well, when Kreimheild is using it for revenge, it is a hella demonic sword. So it's a demonic blade. It's fueled by her desire to revenge. She uses it to strike down those who killed her huntsman. Despite the fact that it is still Siegfried's greatsword, which, in case you forgot, is fucking huge. Like it's like as tall as he is. So I'm imagining that being a woman in Fate, Kreimheild is probably not tall, so the sword is huge for her. She doesn't give a shit. She's high on that Avenger juice, y'all. But mostly, I imagine that this would be a thematic, like, differing version of Siegfried's Noble Phantasm. So, like, when she, calls on it to gain power, instead of glowing green, the gem glows blood red. Well, that's also very funny, yeah, being taller than the mat say. Sprites mid-smashing. But so, like, for instance, Siegfried glows green, she would glow, like, blood red. Balmung is supposed to be, like, in Siegfried's hand is supposed to be, like, like the sun rising, the dragon falls, the world will reach twilight. Like, it's like a sunset or a sunrise kind of a thing. It's got a lot of thematics like that. I imagine that in this case, Balmung Valant is, like, shoots a wave of, like, midnight fire, black dragon fire kind of effect. Reduces her enemies to ash.
Honestly, the way I imagine is like, well, what I do is like basically she would just like stab it into the ground and just from the earth, just hellfire dragons just erupt.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
burst down an army. I do love my little lore notes. So like, it's a big enough wave to destroy an entire army. It is an anti-army Noble Phantasm, but Kreimheild is an Avenger. She doesn't really give a shit who gets struck, so as long as it hits the target, so collateral damage is possible. If you wanted to, you could work this in as a demerit. It should probably just be a lore tidbit, though. And also, it is still Balmung, so I believe it would still be a conceptual weapon against dragons. I don't know if it would actually have, like, bonus damage versus dragon-type enemies. There are a lot of, like, I'm imagining, like, AoE Buster, which I know is a little overused, but you could give her double trait damage. She could have, like, bonus damage versus, like, Earth-type servants, while also having, like, bonus damage versus dragons. This would mean, of course, that this would kill the shit out of Artoria, because she is an Earth and a dragon. It would probably also, ironically, work great against Siegfried. I believe he is also an Earth-type servant and has the dragon trait. But, yeah, probably, like, a pretty simple, like, double trait damage, like, and just, you know. No, actually, Axe, I don't think, because remember, Kreimheild, despite sounding similar, is not the equivalent of Brunhilde. So she's the equivalent of Gudrun in the Volsung Saga. Gudrun, who is a great deal shittier than Kreimheild. Kreimheild is mostly just out there to get revenge.
Yeah, remember Bryn kills, Sigurd.
Mm-hmm. But in the Volsung, it's like, that's like, Sigurd is like her first love, and it goes back and forth, but because of magical shenanigans, they end up like broken up, and Siegfried's character, Sigurd, gets his, you know, memories blocked or whatever, and then he marries Gudrun. And then Brynhild thinks she's married to another dude normally, and then, Sigurd's wife, Gudrun, spills the beans and is like, haha, my guy's super cool, he's the best, and Brynhild is like, wait a minute, your guy sounds like my guy, what the fuck is happening, how dare? And then it turns into an elaborate murder-suicide plot. Odin is involved some more, it's great.
Good job.
The Nibelungenlied is not that. The Nibelungenlied is much more of a tale about, like, human-ass greed, right?
Right.
Like, Siegfried he's a great king, he's a cool dude, he finds a great wife. There's an evil dragon fucking up his people's shit. He rides out with his sword. He stabs the dragon. He bathes in its blood. He becomes super invincible except for his one spot where he's not invincible. He inherits a shitload of gold. The gold is cursed. His friends murder him to get the gold. They hide it from his wife, who's supposed to get the gold. And like I said, Kriemhild is not happy about either of these things. She doesn't get her inheritance, and her husband got murdered. She's not okay with this. So she gets revenge. And I think, like I said, that's really what this character design is like, is embodying. She is an avenger. She is focused on revenge. She often doesn't seem to care about her own fate. Like in some versions of in some versions she even like forgets about her children, whether her children with Siegfried, or in some tellings I think even like the reason why there's a party is because she has a son with Attila. Obviously that does not work in this context. Not without going even further in the explaining things we don't have to explain whole. But, like, and she doesn't care about that kid. Like, it's all about the revenge, which is, again, why usually she dies at the end, because it's, you know, it's that classic adage, when one sets out on revenge, you should dig 2 graves.
Yep.
So I imagine as a servant, Kreimheild is just that, because this is the, you know, crystallization of her legend. She uses Balmung, but as an evil sword. It's still anti-dragon, so like I said, I think, especially because Avengers will deal neutral damage, you know, double trait damage can lead to some funny crossover. She should have a very offense-focused kit that probably has some demerits, whether it's directly or it's like a self-taunt thing, you know, just like draws attention to herself. You could always do Das Rheingold as a separate skill to give her like a self-battery. Like imagine if this was an Avenger with like an 80% battery or something, but she self-cursed herself or something, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Arts design-wise, well, I've seen some pretty interesting like fan designs. Like I said, I think what elements I would include is obviously, like I said, I would give her a physical like appearance on the skin, like Altera's markings, but probably dark. You know, Altera's like slightly tanned. I would probably make Kriemhild very pale, and then you could offset that with dark markings on her like arms and legs and body. You could probably go with at least one Ascension should have a bridal theme, especially because like Altera's already looks like she's wearing a fucking bridal dress. You know, do the similarities. You would also probably want to take elements though from Siegfried's design. Like, what are good aspects of Siegfried's visual design? Like, he's got that cape thing. Or actually, I think that might be tied to his... I think actually that's tied to the sheath of Balmung, yeah. That would be great, because she's got the same sword, you know? So, like, include, like, his little cloak. Siegfried does also have a, like, the black and red color scheme that I think would carry over very well to her. But, like I pointed out, there is also that, you know, interesting possibility for reference about the Einsburns. So if, like, not like a full-blown, like, a face situation, but if she was, like, pale-haired and red-eyed, for instance, I think that would, you know, that would give her kind of an interesting, unique design that would match up very well. Yeah, personality-wise, I do think, yeah, like, It should be like most Avengers, where like 90% of the time she's like fucking ready to kill, and then when Siegfried shows up, she gets like really lovey-dovey. She should probably be deeply bamboozled by Sieg. Like, is that Lord Siegfried but tiny? What the fuck is happening here? Wait, are you also the evil dragon? I don't know. That would also be funny if she was like, yes, clearly this is my child.
No, that's what was gonna be my immediate thought. It's like, no, like, this is not my adopted son. This is mine.
Yeah. There should probably be some very awkward conversations with Altera. Like, hey, thanks for helping out with that thing, but, Altera wouldn't care. She would just be like, destroy. Actually, though, that would be very funny if like, Altera had, like, not, like, literal, but had kind of, like, a weird destruction crush on Kreimheild. Because, like, Kreimheild did destroy a lot of shit. Like, she just goes talking about how beautiful Kreimhild's destruction is, and you're like, is this NTR? No, Altera is literal. She's just like, yeah, Kreimheild destroyed a lot of dudes. It was cool. Metal as hell. It'd be interesting. Like I said, maybe they will do this design. I've been scooped by FGO before. Obviously, my interpretations will not necessarily be the same as everybody else, but, you know, it's a good one to talk about.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, hello, my name is Kreimheild. This is my boyfriend, Siegfried, and this is my girlfriend, Altera. This is our son, Sieg.
Yes. I mean, they've already made jokes about this in relation to Siegfried and Altera. Like, it would just, yeah. There would be so much more shenanigans you could get up to with this character. And if you make her an Avenger, then you have this whole, like, quirky Avengers thing, you know? Like, she's just constantly standing there being extra. Somebody gives, like, Siegfried a hard time, and he's all like, Sumanai, and she's like, don't apologize. How dare they? I'll stab them. I'll stab their parents. Stick up for yourself. This is why you got stabbed.
And then he says something sweet, and she just immediately melts.
Yeah. He's like the only one who can calm her down, which makes sense. Yeah, it's a great idea.
I love it.
I think that's everything I got there. That was Kreimheild. I've already decided I will not, I don't have the exact list formulated, but I've already thought of next month's theme. That poll will go up sometime next week when the month actually rolls over. Which is, because FGO is doing a back-to-school thing, I decided our theme for September will be school. I will be pulling servants who are either some kind of, like, teacher or trainer, or have, you know, like, scholastic or academic significance, you know, great scientists, writers, that kind of thing. I'll be able to pull a couple. I'll be able to pull 4 or so. And we'll have some interesting choices. We'll get some new units. We'll get probably some repeats, just because I have a lot of stuff in the back. I've realized that to keep things diverse, I do need to sit down and come up with a couple more profiles so I don't run out of juice. Let's see, it's September, then October, right? October will probably be Spookums, like I did last year.
Spookums.
I'd have to double check which ones I've done, but luckily I can do that because I have tags for this. And if you want to get in on this action, you want to vote in the Fanservant Friday poll, support us on Patreon. The 5 and up level, you get access to this poll. I did notice, like I said, a couple of people did you know, either reduce their membership level or let their memberships, you know, go, because they talk about financial issues. That's obviously no problem. But I do think that makes me think that I need to bang the drums a little on the patronage. So in addition, obviously, to joining us live and getting access to recording the show in our special patron chat, which is funny, you know, they've just been jamming the whole time with us. Shout out to you guys. You can get access to, you know, audio early, like, probably within, like, 30 minutes to an hour of me finishing, or us finishing recording the show. I have the audio edited and posted to Patreon, so that's right away. It goes up to audio even before it goes up to video, because obviously I have to render the video out. You get access to the video version early as well if you're into that kind of thing. At higher levels, you get access to all our videos like a day early. Be the first to see things. Access to polls. And in the effort of drumming up, I think I will commit to assuming I remember in a week, which I hope I do, because like I said, I'm committed. I'm bringing back Teach Me, because that's another $5 poll. We need the incentives. Incentivize. So support us on Patreon. You can not only vote in the Fanservant Friday poll, but I will come up with some shit for, you know, what to put in Teach Me. I have some thoughts about some things we can maybe talk about. I'm not an expert in it, but I thought that I might add, these would be separately. Like we've talked about before, like doing a poll for like, hey, what's Sion's deal? Who is she? What's she doing? Kind of a thing, right? So like, we might even be able to, amp that to like, even just be like, you know, what's going on with Melty Blood's version of the continuity. the Tsukihime remake came out, and it does actually, I believe, like I said, there may even be some crossover Fate characters showing up in it. That's its own thing, and we wouldn't go very deep, but I could probably attempt to summarize the plot of the arcs of Tsukihime, and to let you know more about what that's about. We've talked about True Ancestors before, for instance, so we would not necessarily go over that. Oh, gotta retweet that. That could be an option. So yeah, I'm thinking about energizing the poll and talking about some different aspects and things. If you have any suggestions for Teach Me topics, let us know in the comments or contact us on Discord or whatever. It's a great way to get a hold of us, and I've often taken suggestions from the people at home. We've done all kinds of different things. So I want to bring the segment back as an incentive for people, and also just to get extra content out of there. We do occasionally have dud shows, and when there's not a lot happening with FGO, we don't always get the views. Not a lot of people tuned in last week. Some of it might be just because we had a different thumbnail, but it also might be because we didn't really have a lot to talk about, so we got in the weeds. We went out in the grapes. So hopefully people will tune into this one. I'm probably going to use the words buff and Miyu in the title, so that will almost assuredly get some clicks. But yeah, there's my little spiel. Support us on Patreon. Mm-hmm. It feels good. Finally, thoughts.
I don't got any. Mine empty. Only me music.
What? Actually, no, I know why. It's because you said you really like it. When you just said that, my first thought was Shooting Stars. Yeah, I'm just like, yep. That's when you said head empty, no thoughts, only me music. I'm like, my mind just jumped there. It's like, it's got to be Shooting Stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week, we will almost assuredly have I'm pretty sure we'll have started Battle in New York, actually. So we'll have some first impressions there, how we're doing on Lotto boxes, how much of animals our Discord are being, etc., etc. Also, very likely, like we said, we will probably have a CM for the new summer event if the new summer event doesn't straight up start by the time we start recording the show. So that will also be a very interesting topic to digest. I am certain, especially if we actually have the banner and the details, that people will be going apeshit about a new summer. So we'll have to see what's up there. That'll be good to tune in. Obviously, like I said, I had this whole spiel about, supporting us on Patreon. It is a new month. That's always a good time to get in on the action when it rolls over. So you can, follow us along, get access to our patron chat, get access to audio versions, all that other great stuff. Follow along. It's a really great way to interact with us. You can also interact with us by hitting that like button on YouTube if you like this show. Or hit the dislike button. We don't care. We actually don't get a lot of dislikes anymore. You can dislike us. It's okay. We may or may not change our attitudes or opinions, but it's perfectly valid for you to express your dislike. Engagement is engagement, y'all. Engagement. You can also comment on our episodes. Like I said, hey, if you have a thought for Teach Me, leave it in the comments. I won't even insult you if I say we've already done it. I'll just let you know. No, we covered that one already. Sorry. That has happened before. But, give us your ideas. We'll see about them. I can stretch my Omega brain. If you're a newer listener, you might even know what the fuck Teach Me Omega is. It's been like 5 or 6 months since we did it, I think. Check it out. You'll enjoy it. But leave those comments. You can also join our Discord, as I called it out. That link is always in the video description or on our channel page, as always. We have access to pinned messages, which are very helpful. When you're on our Discord, you can hang out and yell about all kinds of things. FGO, anime, games, other stuff. Earlier, while we were in the middle of recording, some people were watching some Kamen Rider at a different VC. Stuff happens here. Come join us, won't you?
Stay with me.
That was a little soft, but I believe it can. Yeah, I can see the audio waves.
Sorry, I was leaning over.
Yeah. It caught it. I think that, yeah, it'll stay. That's definitely loud enough. That won't get noise canceled. That's not noise, that's somebody speaking. Where was I? Discord. Yeah, okay. So that means the next bit is to remind you to subscribe to our channel if you're new here. Listen, YouTube recommendations are cool, but if you really want to follow our content week in, week out, sub to us. Get our sub counts up. It's great. We're over 3K, but we want to go even further beyond. We must be over 4,000. Let's go. Come on. Go Gadget subs count. That was probably cooler in my head. Sorry, we've been going for like 3.5 hours, and it's hot, and I'm sweating, and I need to go take a shower. Even if you're already subscribed, you can hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream. This is important because we stream What's Up. We stream shit on Mondays. We talked about this at the end of it, but I will probably not go immediately into Uncharted 4. We'll probably take like a week or two off. We'll do some Gartic Phone, maybe some other rando shit, because we're going places doing things, and I do believe that Uncharted 4 is a little bit longer than the other games. And obviously, like, just tech-wise, a little more high-spec, bigger set pieces, more action, driving mechanics. You could just drive the Jeep for once. And not just in like a scripted way. It's great.
Yeah, open world. I guess I can mention this here, because who knows, this might be happening before this. So I did actually pick up Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I'm actually installing it right now. That's why I was leaning over. I was reaching for stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know exactly where I'm gonna slot this in as a play. Like, do I want to take over the Saturday slot? Like, Mondays are usually your thing, so I don't necessarily want to have me stream and have you ride co-op with me, unless that's something you want to do. That's something I actually want to ask you if that's something you want to do.
We could certainly do that. I am interested in Bloodstained.
Actually, I think I'm looking on it. It says it's 1 to 2 players, so I don't know. I'll do some tinkering, but I'll definitely get it started tomorrow just to see how things are. Maybe if things are nice, maybe we can start it together or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that I don't know about.
We will
like
see.
I said, we have different versions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's called.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yeah, I got a fan had an extra copy and sent it to me on Steam. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But we will see. But
we'll figure it out. We'll test it out.
Hmm.
But yeah, that if you hit the bell for notifications, you know when we stream stuff, you can be there right away. Notification squad. Watch videos right as they come out. It's helpful. That I don't even think hitting the notifications does anything for our YouTube analytics or anything. It's just a handy feature you can be aware of, so you always know when stuff's coming out. It's cool. Check it out. And
cool.
Yeah, that's basically all that. Did the Patreon bit. The only other thing is to mention you can join our channel memberships, get access to emotes and membership badges, emotes which you can spam in our streams. They're great. Support us. You can also offer super chat and super thanks if that's your thing. You want to just throw us a little splash directly on the YouTubes, as people have been doing a lot lately. Sprinkle that cash, support people. Just because I've actually seen it. I saw some interesting arguments lately. People talking about even though high level people may make a lot of money on sponsorships or just view ad numbers, why people still choose to support. It's showing your support directly. And we don't really do anything these days to make accounts for ad revenue, but if you do want to support us and make sure that our content stays our content, not anybody else's, consider supporting us yourselves so we don't have to cow down to advertise your sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, if you ever want to ask us, we got over 3,000 subs. We have a very involved audience. We can show things. Dear Anaplex, tell us to shill the Heaven's Feel Blu-ray. We'll do it. Today's episode is brought to you by Heaven's Feel. Please buy the Blu-ray. It's great. Goodbye. That's not a real sponsorship, by the way, YouTube. Don't get at me. That's fake. That's a joke. It's a parody, okay? It's allowed. I can express myself. I have amendment rights. I took multiple years of college for this. But yeah, and just, check us out. We're going on. We're doing stuff. I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, but I am aware of the financials. We've been doing pretty good with people donating, but like I said, Patreon's been going a little slow. It's been scaling back a little. I understand people have their own shit to worry about, so I want to remind everybody this exists. You can support us. You can keep us doing bigger and better. And I do need to budget out some stuff. I've talked about how sometime before we go too far, I do want to look at a better camera for some stuff, for either live action shoots or to actually include camera bits in the episode. Though God knows that's a whole nother technological fuck mess.
Mess.
Yeah. But, keeping an eye on stuff, maybe so you can see me do all my hand gestures. I would probably need a green screen, too, so you don't stare at my door all the time. That'd be another thing to buy. Also, just a thing I straight up need, though, is I need to figure out what's compatible, but I need to buy a GPU and install it in my PC, just so I can do better rendering and recording, because a lot of video processing likes to use your GPU for stuff, and I don't have a dedicated one. But also, then we could do another throwback series is when I can actually run all the games in the Master Chief Collection. Lucky and I can play that on stream as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
So, that's why you should support us to keep all these things up. You help me pay for my memberships to shit like Disney Plus and Funimation. Hopefully Crunchyroll can bundle that in so we can, watch stuff and talk about that too. You want to hear our thoughts on things. It's a great time. Your support goes us to a myriad of things. Occasionally, I buy food with the money you give me to feed myself. I buy a lot of instant ramen with Patreon and YouTube money. Keeps me alive. You'll keep me healthy. I'm still, I don't know if it's going to be this month or not. I'm going to, double check everything. It should be fine. I'm also debating buying Wii Fit Adventure, so you guys could be keeping me fit. This is what your money goes to. It supports us. It's a whole package. I've rambled on enough about this, though. Yeah, Ring Fit Adventure, whatever. What did I say? Did I say Wii Fit?
Something.
I don't know. I do actually have an old Wii. I don't ever hook it up. Why are you such a fucking narc, Dax? Jeez. It's fine. I'm kidding. We are getting out of here, though. I'm rambling. I'm losing my ability to speak. This is like how I got at the end of this week's progression. What did I say? I think I said I was talking about the cheap seats. I was talking about the audience, and I accidentally said cheap sheets. And I'm like, what the fuck am I even saying anymore? What words are coming out of my mouth? Cheeps.
What is cheeps? Cheeps. Beep beeps.
But yeah, so we'll skedaddle on out of here. We'll be coming at you with some streams, some vidges, various things. No, there will not be a new wanted for Gilfest Battle in New York, but you can check out the one I already did on Gilgamesh. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did one already. I did a Gil already. Tweet, motherfuckers. But not related to cheeps from Mario. But we're gonna go. Like I said, I gotta go clear some stuff up. I have to go. I just washed my sheets today. Speaking of sheets, I don't know how cheap they were. I've had them for a few years. But before I put me in my sheets, I need to make me clean. So I gotta go take a shower after I edit the audio and get this video cooking. So I should get out of here before it gets too late. It's already like 11:30. You'll keep me up at that. No, I'm kidding. I'm a night owl anyway. But yeah, I think my only thing is I want to remind you that I will be doing Fanservant Friday poll starting next week. And like I said, we're going to bring Teach Me back. Give me your Teach Me suggestions. Remember, there are no stupid questions, only stupid people. Bye!
Bye, everybody.